2022 is finally here, Sunset Speedway, a familiar track, but there's new faces, new names, and some guys have moved on. But either way, we're gonna have amazing competition, and it's all coming to you live here on G-Force TV tonight from Sunset Speedway.
Welcome to Sunset Speedway. It is time to go racing with the APC Late Model Series. I'm Adam Ross. Joining me all season long in the booth is going to be Jamie Maudsley. Jamie, great to have you with us this season.
Thrilled to be out. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to a great season of APC Late Model Racing. And of course, a couple weeks from now, we'll kick off the Quick Wick Super Stocks as well. A double trouble at a lot of racetracks this year.
It is no coincidence the sun just began to shine as we started to talk here, Jamie. It has been a wild weekend, crazy circumstances, but welcome to everybody who's here. It's going to be some amazing racing. We're going to start off on the other side of this break with the Oscar Midgets. We're going to be joined then by Brendan Doherty. Looking forward to giving you a great season.
And sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new, and so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it, and the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing that. That's my forte.
You're so tasty, drive me crazy, ain't nothing I can do.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway on G-Force TV. I'm excited to welcome him in. 3 minutes into the season or so, but Brendan Doherty, fantastic to have you here.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. We're going to kick things off with the Outlaw Midgets presented by NFL Canadian Tire. Starting on pole, the 62 machine. That is Rob McCall. The Link Climate Care, Byers Motorsports, Tire-Crafter, Aurora Creatures Designs. Number 62 ride is outside. Be number 53. That's Mike Bradley, the Dayco Belts Ambient Air HVAC engines. Ryan's Machine Shop, number 53 ride. 8 machine. That is Larry Lawson out of Orangeville, the BW Towing, SNS Transport, MCI Automation, Hypertech Lubricants ride. Stays outside with the 18. That's Jeff Blackburn, the Falcon Fire and Services entry. Looks like trouble on the racetrack. The 53 of Bradley has slowed up in turn number 1. See if he can get moving again. Taking his spot in line to be the 98. That's Kevin Spees. 4 machine. That's Jamie Kay driving for car owner Roger Cook. The 2 machine. That's Jessica James, the Wagner Painting Gifford Hydroform Pipes, APC Belleville
You're so tasty.
Speedway. And then we have the 93 machine, which is not on the entry list provided by the Outlaw Series. So I believe that is one of the Carruthers, possibly Adam Carruthers, behind the wheel on the 93 machine. As Adam in the what was scheduled to be the 68, so it might be a backup ride for the Tirecraft Aurora Ride 17. That's Mike Homewood, the Mosaics, Floors, and More Biederman Family Quality Pro Painting Ride. And rounding out the field, the 46.5 is Kayla Semple, the ME Finish Line Spray Foam, JDS Contracting, R Semple Solutions, Georgian Waste Services, Redline Graphics Ride. So looks like trouble for Bradley. Gonna need this into the push truck. Looks like Jessica James might have troubles too now. James just guiding the push cart to ensure that it was in a good spot, but it looks like they might need to possibly tow the 53. Try to give a push there, might have the chain wrapped around the axle or something like that on the right side of that car.
And you had mentioned, Brendan, Jessica James had won here before. She's won everywhere.
Yeah.
She's done it all in these cars.
An Autumn Colors Classic out of Peterborough. Everything you can do behind the wheel of an Outlaw Midget. Jessica James has done it. Looks like Bradley now able to get refired in that Dayco Ambient Air HVAC number 53 machine. Take his spot back in the field. All we need to do now is clear the push truck off the racetrack. We will double them up and go green flag racing. Kicking off our doubleheader weekend here at Sunset Speedway. Day one of the Spring Velocity.
Well, Brendan, I wonder what's up with the Bradley car because he stopped and he almost waited for the official to come over. I got to think it wasn't a mechanical issue with that car. I think he was trying to tell the official something, so we'll have to find out what that was. But, yeah, it just looked like he had to talk to the official, and they were able to drive it away.
Yeah, they gave him the push. He didn't want to go. They leaned in the cockpit, and words were exchanged, and then he drove away. He didn't need a pull to get going. These engines, snowmobile engines, usually need a pull to start, so it's not that the car shut off. They didn't go to the right side and give that engine a tug to get it going once again. White flag is out. The lights will be extinguished for the first time this afternoon on the McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck. We get set to kick things off. Spring Velocity. It's been a long afternoon. Schedule changes through late evening yesterday into this morning. We had a window, and here it is. Brian and Sandra Tonish, all the fine folks here at Sunset Speedway, working with the APC Series, the Outlaw Midget Series, and Oscar officials to get day one of Velocity in the books. And we're going to get going under sunny skies. Outlaw Midgets presented by Canadian Tire. McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck hits pit road for the first time this afternoon. Wheel it to go green flag. First qualifying heat race for the Outlaw Midgets presented by Canadian Tire. McCall on the inside, Bradley the outside. Nice and slow. The snow oil engines will come to life off of turn number 4. Green flag in the air. A great jump by McCall on that 62 machine. Down the bottom side of the racetrack, the Ada Lawson looking to follow through on the bottom side. Bradley firing back, and looks like trouble for Carruthers in that 93 machine. The Tirecraft ride comes to a stop on the front straightaway.
These are opening day blues, right? For a lot of these drivers, they didn't have a lot of chances this spring to shake things down.
No, and a condensed practice this afternoon. There would have been 2 or 3 rounds of practice for them this afternoon, but that turned into one 10-minute test session, and we got Clinton Jeffrey on the scene down on the front straightaway.
Yeah, appears all the tires are up. Not sure what it is. The engine is not running. Might just need a pull, like you mentioned, Brennan. We'll have to find out what's up with this Aurora Tirecraft 93. In just a moment. Here comes the push vehicle in. We'll see if they can get it going, and whether or not they've got to move this one back to the pits or whether they'll get it refired.
Now, Carruthers did have trouble in practice. Same thing. That car came to a stop down in turn number 2, and they pushed it to the infield. So looks like the short amount of time they had to get that car turned around for the first round of qualifying, not able to fully remedy what was wrong with the 93 machine.
I thought they were going to head up right into the paddock area, but looks like they'll just move it around, pull it to the infield here. Doesn't appear the 93 is going to fire, and yeah, Carruthers will pull it back to the infield.
Hate to see that. He's got the rookie tape on the back, so was looking to make his first start with the Outlaw Midgets. Not going to be able to do so here in this first heat race, so we'll rack him and stack him and try him one more time. They'll come to the white flag this time by, and we'll try it again. Quick Hot Rod's already lining up on the make-ready chute for their first round of qualifying. So here we go. Lights are going to be extinguished on the McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck. And we'll try this one again. See if Mike Bradley learned anything from that first start. McCall was able to get a good jump in that 62 machine down on the bottom. McCall spent his time with the Pro Sprints out at Full Throttle Motor Speedway last year and got away from the Outlaw Midget Series and has come back now. Gone from suspension to non-suspension. Back behind the wheel is familiar pink number 62 machine. The Creature Designs wrapped ride. So again, it'll be McCall the inside, Bradley the outside, getting set to fire. Take number 2 with the Outlaw Midgets presented by Innisfil Canadian Tire. Down into turn number 1. McCall got the jump, but here comes Bradley back on the outside. Great run through 1 and 2. Jessica James on the move, deep in the field, that number 2 machine. Working the high side of the racetrack. Larry Lawson holds on to the 3rd spot. Jessica James looking to take it away. Top 4 running a phone booth down into turn number 1. McCall still holds the top spot. Here comes Bradley with a run on the high side. Down the back straightaway. Doesn't quite have the horsepower to make the high side of the racetrack work. These cars momentum based, so whatever you get off the corners is what you're going to have down the front straightaway. As they go into turn number 1, Jessica James slides to the inside of Bradley, going to take the 2nd spot away. And around goes the 62 of McCall. Able to get that car pointed the right direction and keeps moving. But that will draw the caution. So I didn't see what happened. It's just in my blind spot there. I don't know if he got the bumps the wrong way and around he went, or if Jessica James had a great run and might have just got the rear Nerf bar of that 62 machine.
Yeah, and I'm not sure either. I was trying to see Jessica's front bumper. Let's have a look at the rear bumper of the leader. Now it's hard to tell.
And it's just one of those spots, too, especially down low. These cars so low to the ground, even from our vantage point, seeing them around that pit wall, very hard to do. So if they did make contact, we probably weren't going to see it with that wall there anyways. But
you know what? It's terrible to do, but you look at the drivers and see their reactions, even in the car. Jamie Maudsley is going to be joining us here for the APC portion. He's shaking his head saying no contact out there.
So again, these cars no suspension, so what you see is a smooth racetrack for an APC late model. It's not smooth for these drivers at all. They have to try to dodge those bumps that you don't normally see a full-body stock car with suspension, springs, and shocks and all that have to avoid. So these drivers looking for the smoothest part of the racetrack through the corners, and once those cars get bouncing, they're hard to control. Bradley again has a hard time coming up to speed. That's going to cost him. James goes to the top spot. Lawson follows through up on the high side of the racetrack. Now under fire from the 18 to Jeff Blackburn. Blackburn to the inside of Bradley. Bradley gets shuffled back to the 4th spot. Kicked outside the top 3 as they race off of turn number 4. Jessica James starting to build the lead in that Wagner painting Gifford Hydroform Pipes number 2 machine. Lawson doing great in that 2nd spot. The B&W towing entry. And Jeff Blackburn, driver, split his time with the Can-Am Midgets and the Outlaw Midgets. Now under pressure from Bradley. Bradley, you see him got loose in the bumps there. Down on the bottom side of 1 and 2. They'll race down the back straightaway. Bradley now with the 3rd position has taken it away from the 18 of Blackburn. He gets moved back to the 4th spot. McCall has charged from the back of the field up to the 5th spot. But out front, it is all Jessica James, that Wagner painting ride. They'll put the 46.5 of Kayla Semple 1 lap down. Semple doing the great move of the rookie. Learning, staying down on the bottom side of the racetrack, out of the way, letting the leaders do their thing as they come on by. But Jessica James just continuing her domination here at Sunset Speedway. Out in front, almost a half straightaway advantage over Larry Lawson in this one. McCall now up to the 4th spot, gotten by the 18 of Blackburn. Now sets his sights on the 53 of Bradley. The Dayco 53 machine running the 2nd groove of the racetrack, trying to stay out of those bumps and keep momentum wound up. Almost tagged the outside wall off of turn number 2. Did Bradley that time. That car stepped out on him. And McCall going to take advantage as they race down to 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. McCall will take the 3rd position as they cross the stripe that time by. Caution out once again. We have the 4 Jamie K around down in the grass in turn number 4. And that car, I will tell you right now, is not going to go anywhere. On a good day, it would be a maybe, but there was a lot of water down there this afternoon. That grass can be awful wet on those slick tires. So they will definitely need the assistance of the push track to get the 4 Jamie K moving once again.
They don't have the option to grab reverse in these cars either, so you can
No.
go anywhere you want as long as it's forward and not in the grass.
Yeah, so It almost looks from this angle like it's beached. And we'll see the replay here. Yeah, just over those bumps again. Doesn't take much for these cars to step out. We see it here on a regular night with our junior late models. Those cars also have no suspension. Those drivers have to be very careful where they run through the corners, because once those cars start to bounce, it's like a basketball. It just starts dribbling across the pavement, and you're trying to catch it, and it's very hard to do with these short wheelbases.
And you feel every landing in your rib cage, your ribs, your hips. Those, you are the suspension for these cars.
Absolutely. I talked to Jordan House. He ran one of these, won an Autumn Colors Classic, driving an Outlaw Midget, and he said it's one of the very few things on his list that he would want to do again, because he felt that one for about a week after. At the time, he was used to running the Super Stock, and it felt like driving a Cadillac by the time he got to that on Sunday afternoon out at Peterborough. So we will try this again to close out heat number 1 with the Outlaw Midgets presented by Canadian Tire. This will be their only round of qualifying. Qualifying shortened up just a little with our schedule. Rating's supposed to move in about 9 o'clock from what we've seen. So we are trying to get this full program in here for day 1 of the Spring Velocity at Sunset Speedway. The lights once again extinguished on the Master Buick GMC Pace Truck. It'll make the hard left down pit road. Jessica James, the 2 machine, the 8 of Larry Lawson get to set to fire. Off of turn number 4, they pick up the pace in the middle of 3 and 4. Green flag in the air. James with a great jump down the bottom side of the racetrack, able to clear Lawson by the time they get down into turn number 1. McCall now up to the 3rd spot, able to get clear of Bradley. Bradley under pressure from the 18 of Blackburn, able to hold on to that 4th position so far. They'll come to Popsicle 6 at the line. 2 laps to go for Jessica James, looking to pick up the heat win here at the Spring Velocity. Lawson in the 2nd spot. Bradley trying to mount a charge on the 62 of McCall. McCall protecting the bottom side of the racetrack. McCall with a great line. That car handling very well. Able to get right down to the curb, which is not too common to see with these Outlaw Midgets with no suspension. You see it there. Mike Bradley bounces down into turn number 1 and goes up the racetrack. That's going to open the door for Blackburn. Final time off of 4, though. Checkered flag in the air. Jessica James not going to pick up the win. Trouble for James. She breaks. Larry Lawson going to pick up the win. Ron McCall will battle back to 2nd. But unbelievable, Jessica James had that one in hand, and something breaks in 3 and 4 on the final lap.
Well, that's disappointing for Jessica James.
And you can just see there the disappointment in the cockpit.
Now, at first I wondered if she was slowing down for her victory lane photo, but given the fact that kept rolling to a rest there in turn 1, I think it was a mechanical issue.
Yeah, for sure. For a moment there, I thought, okay, well, like, has a big enough lead, knows the gap, and you just see her on the replay, just right in the middle of the corner, just loses power and coasts across the line, but not quite enough. Going to come home in the 3rd position. Tells you the big lead Jessica James had at one point, able to coast home 3rd from the middle of 3 and 4 when that car broke.
Coming up next, a division that has exploded in recent years. The Oscar Hot Rods. How much fun are these cars to watch? Even to look at them one at a time. I mean, Brendan, there is story after story, not the least of which is the black and green number 46 about to come out onto the racetrack. But man, oh man, what a field of cars.
I mean, the bodies, the chassis, the drivers. This series has stories upon stories upon stories. And one of my favorite things to do is just go to these drivers and ask them, what did this car used to be? They're old limited late models, they're old Thunder cars, they're old Challengers that somebody had bought at an auction. Some are built brand new. Some guys just starting from scratch, and this is a series they want to be part of. No bump stops, no coil binding, none of that expensive technology and suspension stuff. It's old school, big bar, soft spring. That's what these guys are doing. You're going back to 2006, 2007, the late 2000s of technology for these cars. A lot of them old limited late models now, but we've got your lineup here for qualifying heat race number 1. For the quick fire starters, Hot Rod Series presented by Nightworks Design. Starting on pole, the X Machine out of Bradford. That's Adrian Foster driving the 1969 Chevelle for Genco Equipment. And 1-800-Drywall.ca, the 93 Machine. That's Jerry Broom out of Exeter, the 1969 Camaro for the Camaro Depot. London Drive Systems, NC Jones & Sons, Smith's Landscaping, Dwayne Stump Grinding, and Hoffman's PTL aboard that Camaro. 48 Machine is a rookie moving up to the bone stock division. That is Connor Ellis out of Woodstock, 1968 Chevelle for Precision Specialized and WildSprinting.com. 21 Machine driving the Ford Thunderbird. That is Dan Rothwell at Sunbridge, the Near North Industrial Supplies Bromley Automotive Ride. Then we have the 86. That is Nick Clark out of Teeswater, driving the 1969 Ford Mustang for John's Towing and Arctic Clear. A new paint job on that 86 Machine. Just finished that up this week. Number 6 Machine, that is Rob Bromley out of Aurelia, the 1972 Javelin for Bromley Automotive. 47 is Stompin' Tom Walters out of Stroud, Ontario, the RJC Sports BMB Towing. 1974 Dodge Dart. Cathcart Trucking also aboard that ride. 03 Machine, that is Gary Hanna out of Cohill, the 1967 Dart Swinger for C. Patterson Equipment Repair and Napa Auto Parts of Oshawa. 66 Machine, that's Marty Monette driving the 1972 Mach 1 Mustang. The number change going back to the old school Thunder car number is Marty Monette. And the 14 Machine, a fill-in driver driving for car owner Sean McNeil, the 1969 Camaro. It's Colton Everingham, the former Sunset Speedway Superstock Track champion. McMaster Buick GMC pace car hits pit road. First green flag of the year for the Quick Fire Starters Hot Rod Series presented by Nightworks Designs. Down in turn number 1. Foster down the bottom side of the racetrack. Broom up on the high side. Here comes Stompin' Tom Walters looking to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway. On the move is Walters in that 47 Machine. Down the bottom side of the racetrack, the RGC Sports BMB Towing right, looking to the inside of Ellis, the rookie. He'll fall in line, not going to push the issue. He'll see if he can get the run down the back straightaway. He's got the run, sticks the nose in, down into 3. Ellis tried to close the door, but Walters was there. Rothwell on that T-Bird up on the high side of the racetrack, making things a little dicey for others. A little bit of damage on the front of Nick Clark, that Ford Mustang. He's got a little bit of nose damage on that right front, that fresh body and paint job done this week. Jerry Broom now in the middle of 3 wide. Connor Ellis up on the high side. Everyone looking for room to work. Marty Monette trying to follow through in that he slips Ford Mustang. Just trying to find a little bit of room to work, but out front, Foster taking advantage of that front row starting position. The 1-800-Drywall.ca Chevelle has checked out. Walters now trying to track him down side by side for the 3rd spot. The 86 of Clark to the inside of Broom. Broom trying to hang tough up on the high side. Marty Monette looking to follow him through the ATEL Communications Ford Mustang up to the 4th spot after starting near the rear of the field. He'll look to the inside of Clark. A pair of Fords duking it out down into turn number 3 off of 4 to be a drag race back to the stripe. A little warning that time by from Marty Monette. Getting a little too aggressive for the starter's liking. Just going to give him a warning there. Let him know, just cool your jets. This is a bit of a hobby division. You're not supposed to be tearing up these cars, especially in a heat race. And Foster's got company at the front of the field. Here comes Stompin' Tom Walters now. The B&B Towing, RGC Sports, Cathcart Trucking. Almost catches the ball that time off of 2 down the back straightaway, and Walters is there when they get into turn number 3. The multi-time Sunset Speedway track champion has tracked down your leader in the Genco Equipment Chevelle. Out in front now trying to hold on to the top spot. Foster moves up to the racetrack, and Walters with a run to the inside. Side by side into turn number 3. Walters, that 1974 Dodge Dart, will go to the top spot with popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go here in this JRS Auctions heat race for the Quick Hot Rod Series. White flag in the air for Stompin' Tom Walters. Started deep in the field, worked his way through. Marty Monette runs in the 3rd spot. Nick Clark 4th. Rob Bromley as well. Another driver started deep. And that AMC Javelin rounds out the top 5. Final time off of 4. Checkered flag in the air. Walters with the win. Foster for 2nd. Marty Monette going to come home in the 3rd spot. Clark 4th. And Bromley going to round out the top 5.
I don't know what's going to be more spectacular. The fans in the grandstands watching Abby fly that drone. It's almost like another car in the race. He gets as close to the action as he does. Or for the fans at home, or for you in the stands on your smartphones watching the footage we get from Abby's drone. Like, he is just something to see. Turning some pretty good laps out there, Brendan.
I seen him buzzing around in practice, and that was pretty good. But down in Victory Lane, we'll head down to JRS Victory Lane here in heat number 1 for the Quick Hot Rod Series. We'll head trackside to Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, we'll let Dave and Ashley get her quick shots here, and then I'll jump in for a quick word with Stomp and Tom. Tom, how you feeling out there? Looking good. Great way to start your 2022 season.
Yeah, it's the car feels real good. Happy with everything. I'm glad the sun came out for the fans, and I'd like to thank everybody, including G-Force TV.
Good luck tomorrow, buddy. He got it done in the qualifier. We'll see what he can do in Velocity Day 2 tomorrow.
We're going to take a quick break on G-Force TV. Thanks for tuning in. It'll be time real soon to go racing with heat number 2, the Oscar Hot Rods.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up. On the scene since 1949.
Here we go, Falls Tent and Trailer Park, heat number 2 for the Quick Hot Rod Series, brought to you by Nightworks Design. Starting on pole, the 47 machine. He's your reigning and defending series champion out of Brantford, the 1960 Studebaker Hawk, Lafarge, Refractory Removal Services, APC Auto Parts. Ride, that is Steve Book to his outside. Just celebrated his 80th birthday here this week. It's the Big Z, Bill Zardo out of Brampton, the National Exhaust Dodge Daytona. Out of the Cathcart Racing Stables, 04 machine. That is Sean Walker out of Bethany, driving the 1955 Chevrolet station wagon for Napa Pine Ridge, Oshawa. Redstone Quarries aboard that ride. 16 machine, it's Amanda Balson. Out of Bowmanville, the 1974 Camaro, the one of Recreational Racing, Fixed Females, Cochrane Automotive, Quick Fire Starts, Hampton General Store, Chevrolet Camaro. 13 machine, that is Ryan Cowan out of Port Perry, the 1959 Pontiac Bonneville, the KCM Metals, Think Path Designs ride. 74 machine. That is Brandon Robertson out of Caledonia, the 1974 Ford Torino, the Heath Lips Ford, ATEL Communications, Arnott's Automotive. Ford Torino to his outside to be the 40. That's Donnie Beatty driving the Camaro. Out of Beaverton, the John E. Masonry SGH Mortgages ride. And the 58, that's Jeremy Taggart out of London. Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park, heat number 2 for the Quick Hot Rod Series, presented by Nightworks Designs. Down into turn number 1, Book with the advantage down the bottom side of the racetrack. Sean Walker looks to the inside of the 46 of the Big Z, Bill Zardo. Zardo able to hold him off so far. Zardo now has pressure from behind from Amanda Balson, the Quick Fire Starters, one of Recreational Racing, number 16 machine. Looking for some room to work. Zardo now starting to find his footing. Trying to move forward here. Steve Book starting to pull away, the reigning and defending series champion, picking up where he left off last year. Zardo goes up the hill and almost down the racetrack into Balson, able to hold on to that one. That car got a bit of a push up the hill and came back down the racetrack. Zardo back to third. Balson now sets her sights on the 47 of Steve Book. Balson had her struggles last year. Mechanical problems troubled that 16 machine all throughout the season. Had a podium finish here at Sunset Speedway in the early portion of the 2021 season. We'll see if she can run down the 47 of Steve Book. Jim Blackwell, contact, and we got a whole bunch of cars piled up down in turns 3 and 4. Jim Blackwell looked to the inside with his Comet, the inside of the 46 of Zardo. Those two made contact. Zardo went around, and the 74 machine of Brandon Robertson, nowhere to go with that Ford Torino, gets into Blackwell. And it looks like it has knocked the radiator out of the 74 machine. Fluid pouring down the racetrack. Blackwell able to pull to the infield. Zardo able to get refired. He pulls away from the scene. Left rear quarter panel damage on the 46. And you see Robertson just going to drive that car off the racetrack and head right to the outfield work area. Good news is just water, so he's leaving a trail, but that should dry quickly. We'll just need Speedy Dry up on the spot in 3 and 4. You'll see it here on the replay. They race down the back straightaway. Blackwell with a run. Just looks to the inside. And Zardo, I guess, didn't know he was there. I mean, these are big, long cars. So the driver's door rule is very hard to go by when every body size is a little bit different. And that Dodge Daytona is quite long.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So unfortunate to see cars get tore up. Blackwell's going to climb out of his race car, and it's nice when we don't have to speculate because Clinton Jeffrey will get a word. See what the tone's like down there in turn number 4.
Adam, as you can see, the right side looks all right. You got a bit of damage here, but the left side is a bit more problematic. If we get over here, Ryan, and take a look, he's got a problem on the left rear, Adam. Flat left rear, and it doesn't look too bad. We'll see if we can get a word with Jim if he takes the bucket off. Crews are going to have to take a moment and do some work. You see Jim in there assessing the damage. And yeah, it looks like a flat left rear to me, guys. Not sure what else has gone on in there. Jim's not going to take his helmet off, so we can talk to him. If he does, we'll get right back to you.
B&B Towing headed over to the scene, going to assist Blackwell with the tow.
And these cars are pretty durable, pretty tough. So you get hit, it looks like a direct hit to the left rear wheel. And there's all sorts of indicators in there, Brendan, in the suspension that'll tell you if it's been tweaked or not.
Yeah, you're going to want to look at the trailing arms on those. Just going to see, however the rear end's mounted, just make sure everything is right. And Blackwell has had his trouble here at Sunset Speedway. A big accident last year down the front straightaway sidelined him for the majority of the season. And Sunset Speedway, again, not being too kind to Blackwell to kick off the 2022 season, driving that 1965 Comet. So B&B Towing just getting turned around to point the right way to hook up to the one machine. You see it again here on the replay. Blackwell just had the run. As we said, Zardo had been driving through a bit of a push and just didn't have the run down the back straightaway, and Blackwell thought he was there, and the two just went for the same piece of real estate at the same time, and Robertson just a victim of circumstance, wrong place, wrong time for that 74 machine.
Clinton's got Jim. Let's see if he's going to talk to us.
There we go. Jim, not the way you want your 22 season to start, but here.
Well, so far it just looks like a flat tire, but we won't know till we get it in and get it up and have a look underneath. Unfortunate, we were running pretty good. We were under him and he came down on us. I guess they call that racing.
Better luck tomorrow, Jim. Jim Blackwell, ladies and gentlemen, this number 1 car, they're going to get it towed back.
Yeah, disappointed Jim Blackwell, and I don't blame him, Brendan. I mean, that's...
No, and I mean, having a great run, working his way through the field, that was a battle for the 3rd position. So when you're chasing the podium after the troubles you had last year where, a wreck sidelined the majority of your year, you finally get the car running back to the way you wanted it to, and moving forward in a heat race, going to try to lock yourself into a good spot come feature race action tomorrow afternoon, and you're going off on the B&B Towing hook.
As Jim said, hopefully it's a matter of changing the left rear and he can get back into action. Look at Clinton Jeffrey. The man's got skills.
Yeah, everything. He's assisting B&B Towing, making sure that's staying hooked up, and they're going to get him off the racetrack as quick as they can. Jack of all trades.
Well, first and foremost, he's an event promoter, so he knows you got to keep the show rolling. So while we've got some time, it's going to be a little bit of cleanup here. We're going to take a quick break on G-Force TV.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new, and so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it in the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car. decals on our race cars. I love doing that. That's my forte.
And we're back at Sunset Speedway. You see B&B Towing taking Jim Blackwell off on the hook. Not the show we want to put on for you here this afternoon, but team going to go to work and get that car turned around for possibly the second round of qualifying tomorrow afternoon, and for sure feature race action. Still trying to decide on the schedule for the rest of the weekend here. Obviously, today the weather has thrown a big curveball at Sunset Speedway, so, and the forecast tomorrow as well, just a little bit. So we're keeping an eye on the weather. We'll make a decision on that, but Blackwell and the team going to go back to work. We will not see the racetrack again here this afternoon, unfortunately. But we should be able to get things doubled up. Looks like cleanup is almost complete up there.
And believe it or not, we were pretty fortunate here in Innisfil. You look at some of the pictures from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park from Peterborough Speedway, some massive damage at those facilities. So we hope everyone's all right and able to carry on with their weekends. But that was some serious weather that Mother Nature threw at us today.
And not, I mean, just all across the GTA. The reports of damage down at Vaughan Mills Mall, not far from here, only about 30 minutes down the road. So we were able to dodge a bullet. Simcoe County didn't do that last summer, but we were able to do it right here this time. But hopefully everyone's all right out at CTMP and Peterborough Speedway. I know Peterborough has called their program for tonight. Unfortunately, they were looking to kick off their season, and G-Force will be there with the return of the APC series later this summer out of Peterborough Speedway. That's an event circled on my calendar that if I'm supposed to be here, but if the opportunity arises, maybe rain in Simcoe County and none out in Peterborough, I'm going to make a tour out because I'm a big proponent of pro late models out of Peterborough Speedway.
It's a fun place, really fun. In the summertime, fall colors, it's a little chilly, but
I can tell you that the booth there, unlike this one, climate control, it's very nice, it's very good. So you're out of the elements, at least as an announcer there. The fan, I've done that one. The sleeping bag, the winter jacket, the snow pants, the long johns, everything you need to do to stay warm. But, I mean, after the show the Pro Late Models put on out at the Autumn Colors Classic last year, I'm excited for the APC series to get there this summer and showcase what they can do. So this would be the caution that Amanda Balsam was hoping for. Now she can see what she's got. She doesn't have to try to run down Steve Book. They're going to have an equal shot here on the restart to see what she can do with that London Recreational Racing Quick Fire Starters Chevrolet Camaro.
And a pretty cool relationship she's got with Fix-It females on the car. Really trying to promote that this weekend and get involved with that program. I mean, everything Amanda does, she does to the extreme. So she wanted us to throw some love to Fix-It females, and we're happy to do it.
Absolutely, and we're going to get this one back going again. Salvo Falls Trenton Trailer Park, heat number 2 for the Quick Hot Rod Series, presented by Nightworks Designs with Master Buick GMC Pace Truck. Hits pit road, Book with a great jump down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Balson going to stay up on the high side through 1 and 2. See if she'll slide in line as they go down the back straightaway. Book that 1960 Studebaker Hawk for refractory removal services out in front. Balson now all over the rear bumper cover. And here comes Donnie Beatty, the driver out of Beaverton, driving that Chevrolet Camaro. The chassis under that one, a former Jordan Latimer limited late model with a pair of feature wins here at Sunset Speedway. Talked to Donnie this afternoon. He got out testing earlier this week out of Peterborough Speedway and felt confident that he had a great piece to race with here this weekend at Sunset Speedway, and it shows, coming from deep in the field up to the 3rd spot, trying to run down Amanda Balson and Steve Book at the front of the field. Lap starting to wind down here on Salvo Falls Trenton Trailer Park, heat number 2. Balson trying to set up Book, see if she can get the run. Enters a little high through turns 1, tries to dive in the corner and get the run down on the bottom. Look to the inside of Book. Book sees it coming, running down off the wall, down the back straightaway, running that bottom, protecting the inside line, taking the lane away from Balson. See what she can do here. Trying to play nice, trying to, you know, I would normally say knocking on the back door, but not what you quite want to do with a hot rod. So she's playing nice so far, no contact. The front of the field just trying to see what she can do to set up Steve Book in that Lafarge number 47 machine. And Donnie Beatty there looking to take advantage of any slip up from those front 2. And we've seen it just last Saturday with the NASCAR Pinty Series. All it takes is one slip up from the front 2, and 3rd place goes into the driver's seat real quick. White flag in the air, final time off of 2 down the back straightaway. Book with the advantage, runs up to the wall that time. Gets down to the bottom of 3 and 4, able to take the lane away from Balson. He'll pick up the heat win. Balson for second. Donnie Beatty comes home in third. Jeremy Taggart from the tail of the field to fourth. And the Big Z rallies back to round out the top 5. So a good heat race there for Steve Book, kicking off his championship defense. Picked up the championship, closed out last year in a great battle with Tyler Hahn. Came down to the wire, came down to Peterborough Speedway at the Autumn Colors Classic to pick up his first championship with the Quick Hot Rod Series. And now he's going to start his title defense down in Sawwell Falls Tent and Trailer Park, Victory Lane. Everyone will go by, and we'll hand things over to Clinton Jeffrey down in Victory Lane.
Thanks a lot, Brennan. Well, Bookie, another good start to the year. If you can pick them up the way you left them off, that's pretty. You ended as champions, starting out with a heat win. That's a good start.
Yeah, the car needs a little bit of work. I think Amanda was faster, and maybe even Donnie Beatty was faster there, but nobody's got anything for Tom Walters just yet. We'll do some work on it and see if we can get it better.
Quickly, how cool is it to see this division to grow the way it has?
Oh, it's an awesome division. I think it's the best around. We've got such diversity in cars and drivers, age-wise, top to bottom. Every brand is pretty much represented in this, and they're cool looking, and we're competitive. Last year we had 11 races and 9 different feature winners, so everybody can get it done.
Good luck the rest of the weekend. Steve Book, your heat winner, ladies and gentlemen.
And that will close out qualifying for the Quick Hot Rod Series, presented by Nightworks Designs. And now it is time for the Ground Pounders, the Queenston Chevrolet Just Foam It Oscar Modified Series, presented by Scott Reinhardt Trailer Sales. They're going to kick things off with JRS Auctions Heat Race number 1. And we've got one driver starting on the pole, the number 7 machine out of Durham. That is Relentless Tommy Robb, the Roymar Demolition, RKS Electric, JustHunt.ca, Caldecott Millwrights ride. Just finished that ride up last night, so a late night for Relentless Tommy Robb and the team, able to get that number 7 machine together and be here for Spring Velocity and kick off the points chase for the modified tour. To his outside to be the number 69 machine. That is Wally Wilson out of Owen Sound, the Fireplace and Patio Stop, Have1.com, Mr. Transmission of Owen Sound, Napoleon and RPM Racewear aboard the 69 machine. 35 machine, multi-time feature winner with the series last year from Churchill, just down the road. The one of Recreational Racing, Havelock Metal Roofing, AM Group of Companies, number 35 machine. It's the instant classic Andy Camrath. To his outside will be his London Recreational Racing teammate out of Bowmanville by way of the GTA Race Shop. The one of Recreational Racing, Cochran Automotive, Quick Fire Stars, Hampton General Store, Brighton Speedway, GTA Race Designs machine. It's the Mountain of Molten Lust, the crowd pleaser, Kelly Balson aboard the B10. 88 machine, that is Ryan Dick out of Wardsville. The Darrell Dick Excavating still searching for others. Number 88 entry. 72 machine, that is Bob Franks out of Omimi, the one-time Mosport Speedway regular. The Nadeau's Collision Web Transmission Park Hill Excavation ride. The 20 machine, that is Mike Hardy making the long haul down from Sault Ste. Marie. The Millie's Mini Mart, Henry Johnson, Sons Carpentry, Let the Fur Fly Pet Salon, Surplus Furniture, and Flawless Roofing aboard the number 20 machine. So that is your lineup for heat number 1 for the Queenston Chevrolet Just Foam It Oscar Modified Tour, presented by Scott Reinhardt Trailer Sales. White flag in the air, lights are extinguished on the McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck. Ground Pounders set to fire off of turn number 4 for their qualifying heat races. Looks like it'll be a pair of them here on day number 1 of the Spring Velocity to set the lineup for their feature race tomorrow afternoon. McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck hits pit road. Tommy Robb the inside, and Wally Wilson the outside. Tommy Robb gets the jump. Andy Cameron's going to follow him through. Balson makes the lane change down to the inside. He'll take over the 3rd spot and shuffle Wally Wilson back to 4th. Camrath already on the move to the inside of Tommy Robb. The one in Recreational Racing, AM Group of Companies 35 machine. Picking up where he left off last year, the Seat Structures ride now out in front. Balson looking to the inside of Tommy Robb. Robb gets a great run off of 2, able to keep Balson at bay so far. The driver out of Hampton, Ontario, the one in Recreational Racing, Cochran Automotive B10 machine. looking for room to work, doing the same thing we've seen Amanda Balson do in her heat race. Enters turn number 1 high and was trying to make the diamond move. Now no longer looking to the inside. Going to go to the high side of the racetrack. Up in the high red district is the GTA Race Designs Quick Fire Starters number B10 machine. Balson going to come away with the second spot as they race down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Rob back to the third spot. He's going to have to deal with the 88D of Ryan Dick, the driver out of Wardsville. Looking to take the third spot away. Rob got clear from that time off of 4. And cross flags the line this time by for the Instant Classic Andy Cameron, the Caldecott Millwrights, number 35 machine. Nice and smooth at the front of the field. Had his troubles last year, showed up here to kick things off in June with the Oscar Hot Rod Series, broke a motor in practice and eliminated himself out of the points. But that didn't stop him from going on a tear and winning just about every race he entered last summer when Mechanical Gremlins didn't find that 35 machine. And if you're Mike Schmidt, you're liking what you see right now. A pair of London recreational cars running 1 and 2. Camera's going to come into popsicle sticks at the line this time by. Absolute domination of that 35 machine. They spent a lot of time in the offseason retooling that 35 car, and as fast as it was last year, it looks just to be a little bit quicker this year. Everyone chasing the 35 already, white flag in the air. The Seaton Structures 35 machine, final time down the back straightaway. You'll see the checkered flag this time off of turn number 4. Camrath with the win. Balson going to come home second. Rob able to hold on to the third spot. Ryan Dick comes home in 4th, and it'll be Mike Hardy from the tail of the field rounding out the top 5. And it looks like a little bit of trouble possibly for Ryan Dick. That car smoking as he slowed down into turn number 1. He's going to make the hard right turn to the outfield pit area and avoid the cool down lap. So hopefully no major issues underneath the hood of that 88 machine, and they're able to get that car turned around for tomorrow afternoon.
He was actually smoking down in turn 4 when they took off. When the grid left behind the pace vehicle, there was smoke coming out the back end of the car. So it raced fine, or it seemed to anyhow. Then whatever problem resurfaced at the end.
I guess moral of the story, as long as he's moving fast, the car's happy. And we'll throw it down to victory lane to Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, Andy, this is the way we talked to you last at the end of the year at Delaware. What a great run to start your season. You got to be super pleased with how this car's running now.
We were starting off on the right foot here. Sean Chenoweth, he put a good setup in this thing, and Dennis at AP, he did a heck of a job with the motors. So let's see if we can start this year off on the right foot.
Certainly looks like you're on the way. Good luck tomorrow. Andy Camerath gets heat number 1 in the books here for the Oscar Modifieds.
Camerath has been busy. He kicked off the season here as a substitute driver for Paul Pepper in the Super Stock division. Put on a great 3-way battle with Johnny Morrison and Brandon Pastor. Ended up coming home with the runner-up spot on opening night. But if you got a car, Camerath will drive it, and he'll drive the wheels off it. Took that Super Stock to a podium finish on opening night, and now a heat win here with the Caldecott Millwrights. Seaton Structures on a recreational racing number 35 machine for that JRS Auctions. Heat number 1, we got heat number 2 on the racetrack. The Epic Racewear. Heat number 2 for the Queenston Chevrolet Just Foam It Oscar Modified Tour presented by Scott Reinhardt Trailer Sales. Starting on the pole, the 78 machine. Out of Innisfil. He is a multi-time Sunset Speedway track champion, once behind the wheel of a mini stock and once behind the wheel of a super stock. The Michelle's Topsoil, Steers Enterprises, Majors Pharmacy, Victory Farms, Rick Lloyd Trucking, Nottawasaga Family Health, Protect Tire and Auto, Greenview Graphics, number 78 ride. It's the check casher, Herb Walters. 14 machine, former series champion of Hawkins Corners, BAE Environmental, Brown the Automotive, FMR Scrap Buyers and Recyclers. Speedy Glass, Aurelia, TSS Top Shots, AM Marketing Cloths Canada, Creature Design Board 14 machine, that is HAM's. 51 machine out of Shelburne. The Scott Reinhardt Trailer Sales, SGR Plumbing, Robbdale Farms, BW Towing, Blackjack Express, that is Dale Reinhardt. 22 machine, picked up a win here at Sunset Speedway last year. Out of London, the Sloan Stone Design, London Music Hall, X-Con Inc., All Density Repair, Front to Back Motors, Vinyl Destinations, that is Marshall Schrank. 34 machine is TJ Edwards out of Wealth, Just Foam at JT Excavating, Stewart's Farm Equipment Ride. 15 machine. That is Brad Pearsall out of Bradford, the Car Guy Auto Service Performance Science Davenport Automotive 15 machine. 18 machine is Jason Keane, the former Canadian Vintage Modified Series champion out of Oakville, the Oakville Automotive and Diesel Machine Shop. Riding the 81 machine out of New Lowell, it's the Recipe Tyler Liscombe. The Bent by Kent number 81 machine. Liscombe, a long-time Sunset Speedway campaigner dating back all the way to the 90s in late models, Challengers, Thunder cars. I think it's his first start here at Sunset behind the wheel of a modified. So we'll see what the Recipe can do with that newly acquired 81 machine. That car, a former Jeff Dunford super late model, converted over several years ago by Jeff Walt and the Walt Fab team. Went to Dwayne Cinnamon. Cinnamon campaigned that car with Oscar and OMRS out of Peterborough, and now it's in the hands of the Recipe Tyler Liscombe. McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck hits pit road. Epic Racewares heat number 2 for the Ground Pounders. Green flag not in the air. We're going to call that one back. Who are we going to point the blame at on that one? I'm fine if you say the 78. We can blame Herb all day long. But we'll Rackman, Stackman try this one again. Here comes the warning flag. I think both? Both?
You got to set that tone early, Brendan.
That's it. I mean, you know, you let them get away with it on night 1. By the time we get all the way to Autumn Colors Classic in Peterborough, these guys are just going to be going down off of turn number 2. So set the tone early. Let them know who's the boss. You go when the green flag comes out and not before then. So we'll rack them and stack them once again. This is the second start behind the wheel of modified for the Czech casher. Herb Walters picked up a top 10 at the Autumn Colors Classic last year. This car formerly campaigned by Cowboy Dan Price at one point in time. An old Angie Jankovia chassis out of New York. So we'll try this one again. McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck hits pit road. And no. All right. Now I'm kind of seeing M's going up the hill. Oh, this one's not a restart problem. All right, then. They're saying there's some debris on the racetrack. So this one was not either driver's fault, so that's good to know. Because I was going to say, they were pretty even when they got to the start-finish line.
And the drivers are probably wondering the same thing. Hey, we were on our best behavior.
Yeah, I mean, we called that back for debris. Okay. We're sending someone for the debris. Are we? I think we're working on sending someone for the debris.
Oh.
Still waiting for that debris. We called the caution for debris and now have done nothing to get the debris. So I'm very confused as to there we go. Now the cleanup truck's on the way. I was worried about the strategy on this one, but we pulled that one out last minute there. So.
Well, I do think it was Sandra that found it, so this show was going to stop, like, entirely. We're not going until someone picks up what Sandra saw.
I mean, hey, we're in a tire shortage, and she's just thinking of the drivers right now. She's like, man, if somebody runs over that, that's going to cost a tire. We're already in a tire shortage. We're already limiting how many tires these guys have. So, you know, Sandra Tonish out here just...
Those are impressive eyes.
Yeah. We might need to put her on the cleanup crew because they're struggling to find it, I think. We told them by the Rock 95 sign, so we'll see. Oh, I think we got a winner. I think we got this. And
she wasn't wrong.
Some sort of piece of metal. Some looks like an L shape of some kind. So
that's worthwhile.
Yeah. I mean, that could become a projectile real fast. So, I mean, I'm far away from it, so I felt comfortable in things, but I'm sure the people in 1 and 2 really appreciate it. So, we will try this one again. Third attempt at heat number 2. The Epic Raceware heat number 2 for the Queenston Chevrolet Just Foment Oscar Modified Tour presented by Scott Reinhardt Trailer Sales. So we got the driver sorted out. We got the debris off the racetrack. We got sunny skies. This one should be good. The check casher Herb Walters the inside. Former series champion AJM's the outside. Green flag in the air. Nice even start. Ems with a slight advantage when they get to turn number 1. Walters fires back on the bottom side of the racetrack. Drag race down the back straightaway. Ems with a slight advantage into turn number 3. Half car length advantage. Tries to clear Walters. Walters with a great run down on the bottom side of the racetrack at turn number 4. Has to strike that time by too close to call. Walters giving all he can handle to AJM's up on the top side of the racetrack. The Michelle's Topsoil 78 machine. Down on the bottom side. Ems will leave it back to the stripe that time by for sure. A little more than a Nerf bar advantage that time. Walters gets a great run through the middle of the corner and off. Those two almost made contact down the back straightaway, getting into turn number 3. Off of 4 down the front straightaway. The Sierra Enterprises 78 machine gets a little loose down the bottom of the racetrack that time. That's going to allow AJM's to clear on the BAE Environmental 14 machine. Goes to the top spot. Walters gets shuffled back to second. He's got to look in the rearview mirror. He's got TJ Edwards right behind him. Edwards always fast everywhere the tour goes. Walters getting aggressive, putting the Nerf bar to the rear bumper of the 14 machine. And that might open the door. Able to slam it shut that time. TJ Edwards looked to the inside, but didn't have enough of a run to the inside of Walters. Walters now sideways. That car stepped out on him down into turn number 1. That will for sure open the door for TJ Edwards. Here comes the Just Moment 34 machine down the back straightaway into turn 3, off of 4, down the front straightaway, side by side for the second spot. The Can-Do Holmes 34 machine going to take second spot away. Walters trapped up on the high side of the racetrack. Now gets a little bit of clear racetrack, see if he can slide in line in front of Dale Reinhardt, able to do so. That 51 machine up to the 4th spot. Walters shuffled back to 3rd. AJM's out in front, and you see TJ Edwards get sideways that time, getting on the gas. Walters had to check up from run over the 34 machine. Popsicle 6 at the line. 2 laps to go for AJM's. The former series champion, former Autumn Colors Classic champion, had a rough ride here at one point in time in 2021. Got on top of the wall all the way down the front straightaway into turn number 1. We had to cradle that car off the wall. So M's looking for a little bit of revenge on Sunset Speedway, we'll call it. Looking to pick up the heat win here in Epic Raceware. Heat number 2. Final time down the back straightaway. M's into 3, can coast it home from here off of 4. Checkered flag in the air for M's. Edwards going to come home in the 2nd spot. Walters 3rd, Reinhardt 4th, and Keane will round out the top 5. So a great run for the 14 machine. The driver in Hawkins corner, the BE Environmental Brawl, the Automotive FMR Scrap Buyers and Recyclers 14 machine. A very nice looking 14 ride. All cleaned up.
That is a beautiful race car.
Those Troyer bodies, man, just so nice. Those classic mod style bodies. And we'll throw things down to Victory Lane to Clinton Jeffrey. He can grab a word with AJM's.
Thanks, Brendan. AJ gets the helmet off. AJ, a veteran in this division. You know, your first look at the Speedway this season. How's it feeling?
You know what? The track this year has had a lot of speed. We've been really fortunate that there's been a lot of rubber getting taken up here at Sunset Speedway. So the facility looks great out here on the racetrack. I'm kind of biased because I'm in Victory Lane, but at the same time, the race car's handling really well. I got to thank my dad for all of his support in the off season and my crew, BAE Environmental, Oscar Modifieds for all the work that they do. Klotz Canada, Speedy Glass, Aurelia, TL Tire, and everybody else who helps us get to the racetrack each and every week.
Solid qualifying run. Watch for AJM's tomorrow here at Day 2 of Velocity.
Well, that's going to do it for qualifying heats. Brandon, I see you got a note in your hand.
Our 50-50 draw now up to $850 take home. So $850 going home to the winner, $850 going with the Mikey Network.
We're going to take a break on GeForce TV. When we come back, we'll be joined by Jamie Monty. It'll be time to go qualifying with the APC series for tonight's Dayco 100.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
I've always had this spirit that I wanted to invent something new. And so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it in the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing that. That's my forte.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway. As you can see, the APC United Racing Series teams rolling down, getting set up in the pits. The cars are making their way to pit lane, and we will soon be ready for group qualifying for tonight's Dayco 100. So, Brendan, thank you so much. Is there any more action tonight outside of the late models, or is everything else that's run?
I believe we're supposed to have an Outlaw Midget feature at some point today. They are not meant to be back for day number 2, so whether that's beforehand or whether we squeeze that in, I have yet to see a schedule update. They weren't on the schedule, but I just know we got to run that feature at some point in time. So,
well, good. That means you're going to be back on the air with us, and we look forward to that. And now it's time for some hot air. Jamie Maudsley gonna warm things up here in the booth. So race fans, during the off-season, well, this spring we had the chance to talk to some of our race car drivers with the APC series and the Quick Super Stock series. We got to ask them a lot of different questions to get their thoughts. One of them was, what's your victory lane trick? What do you like to do in victory lane to celebrate your success? Here's what we heard.
Victory lane would be the reverse. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I probably wouldn't get past crying.
So I always pull up in the corner wherever my Uncle Mike's sitting. He's in a wheelchair, and I always see him before I go to victory lane.
I'm gonna put my son on the roof and let him hold the checkered flag.
Probably crying. Probably the reverse victory lap, like,
no idea. Probably just a lot of elation that we pulled it off.
I think it'd be cool to do backflips.
Smiling.
Don't really have one. I guess I should probably get one, right?
Who did that? Uncle Wiki, the Uncle Wiki lap of victory.
I'd just like to have a nice cold beer.
Well, Jamie Maudsley, it was a condensed practice session this afternoon. The teams really only got 10 laps on the racetrack each. Is that enough to see who's got what?
If you weren't prepared by the time you got here this morning, you were in trouble and behind. So these teams able to adapt to a short practice session. Again, one of the topics we've really been talking about this year is the tire shortage. So possibly a blessing in disguise. The guys who are struggling probably don't think so as much, though.
Well, the challenge is a lot of teams come to the racetrack with a game plan. Most teams do that, and here's the plan. This is the setup we're putting on the car. We know practice is supposed to be 40 minutes. You're only going to get a few sets, so here's what we're going to go out with. if the car does this, this is the change we're going to make. If the car does that. So you know you're going to do some tweaking. Very rarely, I think, do you bring a car out and leave everything alone. Didn't get that opportunity. With Mother Nature getting involved, they said you're getting 10 laps only, and we're going racing. So obviously, there are some who really hit things right, like Danny Benedict, who's going to be in the final group. And there's some that have a little bit of work to do. And good race cars coming out in the first couple of groups.
27 cars here, Adam. 21 cars separated by half a second. And that's just how tight this field is. So definitely some guys to watch coming up in the later group. Danny Benedict, former track champ here at Sunset Speedway. He'll be one of the guys to watch. And he's a surprise that Rick Spencer Walt's all the way back there. Great to see him out for a full-time campaign in the CM Precision number 31. There you see Jake the Snake Sheridan.
Well, I'm here with him, Jamie. Jake, you know, where you're starting in this qualifying tells me your practice didn't go the way you wanted. What can you tell me about your car today?
No, I mean, it's not too bad, though, 11th place in a field like this. I mean, I'm not too upset about it. This isn't our sharpest track, but also first race out with the new car, so it's definitely not where we want to be. We had a bit of a binding issue there, a clearance issue hitting the track in practice, and we only got 10 laps today in one session. So if we could have got out maybe one more time, would have fixed up. I think we would have been right there at the top of the board, but car's all right, got lots of forward bite. We made a small gear change, and brakes are good, forward drive, so if we can get that bobbing out issue figured out here going into the corner, then I think we're going to have a good run for our money here with these guys in the qualifying. Hopefully keep under us for 100 laps in the feature, boys.
Right on. Jake Sheridan, guys. He got it done at Sauble. He's going to try and get it done here at Sunset tonight.
How big of a story was that, Adam, him winning at Sauble last year? He'd been so close a number of times and finally able to put it out in victory lane.
It was just a great moment. You know, when you get to see people, racing is something, and you've got to understand, whether you're a racer, whether you're a fan, whatever, you have more bad nights in racing than you have good nights. Even the best ever had more heartache than success. So it's a sport that can really kick you and keep you down, and Sheridan's probably a good example of a couple of bad runs, a couple of situations that didn't go his way. So you really got to feel good for when things do go their way and can park it in victory lane. That was a great night.
Years ago, I did a media event at one of the drag strips and actually won a IHRA Ironman trophy racing a stock Pontiac Grand Prix. And of course, going around the campground later on tonight, I showed one of my buddies who's a racer, and he said, you know, I've spent $500,000 the last 3 years. I don't have one of those. I mean, they're not easy to get. Victories are not easy to get. And we've got a lot of guys out here who are going to be factors and have been factors who just haven't been able to find a way to victory lane. Again, Josh Stoddy would be the top of the list. Definitely he's been there. Question is this the year he's going to get one? We've seen Connor James be quick as well. Junior Farley now in the Shaw Motorsports program. We've seen him be close to getting a victory. So, and always nice to see those guys get there for the first time.
Well, Jamie, I got a guy here who's trying to grab a win. Sean Chenoweth, fast everywhere you go. You got your Dave Bailey jibs, gloves ready to rock. Can you get it done here tonight at Sunset, Sean? We've seen glimmers of speed from you a lot of the places we've been.
Sunset's probably one of my toughest tracks, but yeah, that's some help from Taylor Holdaway, and I think we definitely got something to work with in the race here. Pretty much had the best practice feel I've had in a long time at this racetrack, so I'm pretty pumped up. I'm not sure how qualifying is going to go, but I think we got something for the race.
Always a tough competitor, this 89C. Sean Chenoweth for London Recreational Racing. Want to send a shout out to Mike. Hope you're feeling better too, Mike.
Chenoweth's got 3 wins during his career, but the last one was a long time ago, Adam. So again, like we say, it's not easy to get to victory lane. And one guy, I know we've talked about this in the last few weeks, is just how great this program has become with the late models and the super stock. So got to throw a shout out to our opening night winner at Delaware Speedway in the late model division. I got a text from him. Ray Morneau said he'd be watching from home tonight, and I'm sure he's looking forward and chomping at the bit to get out to Delaware in an APC race come July 1st.
You've got to believe that for sure. And a popular win. We talk about Ray Morneau. I don't know any racer anywhere where even competitors wear their sweatshirts, wear their team clothing. But Ray Morneau, that whole family, great family. You know we'd love to be here, but I think they're doing the right thing, focusing on Delaware Speedway, trying to take a run at that title, and they started things off the way you want to.
Well, here comes our first group out for practice. I thought we were going to see a little cloud cover because that always makes it interesting, but looks like they're all going under the sun right now, so everybody should be on equal footing here tonight.
Here's how they're going to come out for qualifying group number 1. Out of Coldwater, the CM Precision Machining and Welding. 31 is Jade Franklin. From Fraserville, the Custom Forming Walls, Bondsma Brother Concrete Pumping. Number 79 is James Horner. From Guelph, it's the Spira Fire Protection High-Grade Steel Roofing Systems. 86 of Billy Schwarzenberg. The 31W is from Oro Medante, Caldecott Millwright Services Chevrolet of Rick Spencer Walt. And from Miami, Florida, the SMG Motorsports Fly and Ryan Kimball Motorsports number 29G of Sean Grossman.
Be interested to see how Grossman does here. Not a whole lot of starts on the APC Tour. The longtime Super Late competitor. These guys start to put laps up on the board. We'll give you an update as the times start to come in. And we'll see if a record falls here today at Sunset Speedway.
What a fine time for my timing and scoring to go down, so I'm going to have to switch screens here, but that'll be all right. Rick Spencer Walt, the quickest so far in the 31W with a 14.103.
That's not far off our track record of 14.037, set back by Brandon Watson all the way back in May of 2018. So we're watching who can be on the pole. If anybody's got a shot at the track record, they got to pick up a little more than a tenth from what they practiced at. And also, you're trying to stay in that top 10 positions and qualify in the top 10 so you get put in the top 10 come feature time.
We've also got to introduce the driver from Milverton, Ontario, driving the number 22, Quick Fire Starter, A.W. Millwright Stewart's Equipment, 22, Kyle Steckley.
He was a story last year, 2 starts, a win and a 6th or 7th place finish at Delaware, but that big win at Flamborough in his APC debut. That kid is just oozing talent, I'll tell you. A sharp kid and definitely can wheel a stock car.
Good race car driver, calm, cool, and collected. Group number 2, it's going to be number 3 out of Dorchester, the APC Auto Parts Centers, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle number 3 of Shea Gemmel. The 47, he's got a long drive week in and week out from Sault Ste. Marie. The Sims Countertops, number 47 Ford of Jordan Sims. Out of Kitchener, the Blast Floor Coating Epoxy and Concrete Shot Blasting Chevrolet number 1. It's Sean McGlynn in the number 1. Next in line, he got a win here last year in this series out of Hillsburg. The BW Towing McMaster GMC Orangeville BBTS Markdale number 8 of Jordan House. The number 97 comes from Cambridge. It's the JP Powder Coating Vincent Lawn Equipment 97 of Blair Wicket. And rounding out this group, in the number 21 out of London, the Global Warranty ToyotaTown.com Toyota number 21, it's Matt Pritico.
Right now you got Rick Spencer Walt on the provisional pole, Kyle Steckley in second, and Rick Spencer Walt within a tenth of a second of the track record. Will it fall here today? We'll see as the second group now starts to make times. Franklin was third.
I've got to think, if the sun hadn't come out, I'd say, yeah, we're going to see a new record. They're already within a tenth of a second. That blazing sun on the racetrack generally doesn't do good things to lap times, but now we're going to start to see the money laps for these drivers. Matt Pritico jumps into the top 3.
Nice to see him making a return full time this year. Finished 16th last year in points with a win, but also missed a race. Beautiful looking new paint scheme on that Global Warranty number 21 for Pritico. So far, Shea Gemmel, the quickest driver in this session. He's now bumped Pritico. He's up into third. Pritico fourth, House fifth. Franklin now sixth. The Polar Blair Wicket seventh. Jordan Sims eighth. Schwarzenberg ninth. And James Horner rounding out the top 10.
So far, Rick Spencer Walt and Kyle Steckley have held off the challenges of the drivers in group number 2. And they're going to stay at the top of the chart. So Rick Spencer Walt, Kyle Steckley, Shea Gemmel, Matt Pritico, and Jordan House, your top 5.
It was overcast till just a little while ago, so you wonder, are all the times going to slow down? Is the track just heating up right now? See what happens with group number 3 when they get out there. Spencer Walt on the point right now, Steckley and Gemmel, your top 3.
Here's who we're going to see in group number 3 out of Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds. Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane, number 52 of Jake Sheridan. The number 10S. Out of Oro, Ontario, the Paragon Auto Trim of Barrie, 10S, it's Gord Shepard. The 17. Canadian Flat Roof Systems, APC Bruce Service Toyota, number 17 out of Chesley, is Josh Stoddy. Then we have the driver Clinton just talked to out of Plattsville. The London Recreational Racing, Mannheim Apex Oil, Caldecott Millwright Services, number 89, it's Sean Chenoweth. Now we've got the other team car of the 29s out of Norwood, the SMG Motorsports, GTA Racing Designs, Flathead Designs, number 29, Flying Ryan Kimball. That's how they'll roll out for group number 3.
Kimball, an interesting story last year. I believe the total was 4 finishes in the top 6 and 3 finishes outside of 20th. So it was feast or famine for that 29 last year. If Kimball can keep it together, he is usually a factor. But again, the thing has been keeping it together for the whole 100-lap distance.
And you can't buy luck. You can't even rent it, unfortunately, Jamie, and he couldn't find much of that at all.
There's the multi-time Flamborough champ, Sean Chenoweth in the 89C working down the backstretch. See what kind of time he can put up. I always love the paint schemes on that 89C. They do a great job wrapping that and making that car look beautiful.
They do so, and here come the money laps. Takes a couple of laps to get these American Racer tires up to temperature, but they should be up now. Let's see what these drivers have as Dottie comes by. He's only good enough for 7th right now. Nobody in this group has cracked the top 5. Now we got Jake Sheridan up into the 4th spot. Josh Stoddy into 3rd.
Gord Shepard snuck his way into the top 10. Currently sitting on that bubble spot.
Jake Sheridan up into 3rd. Josh Stoddy 4th. That's all we're going to see out of this group. So Rick Spencer, Walton, Kyle Steckley, and I think most of the fans realize the way they line up for qualifying groups, the fastest cars come out last. So it is rare for someone for the first group to maintain their spot at the top of the chart when we're all the way to group number 4.
Hey, Rick Spencer Walt is no slouch, though. Only 1 career victory on tour. This great to see him running full time here in 2022. He's a former winner here at Sunset Speedway in a APC Tour race.
Andrew Gressel with problems. He makes a late entrance. He was 3rd quickest in practice, so he'll be out in the final group. Glad he was able to make it. Let's introduce you to the cast of characters for qualifying group number 4. Coming out first, the Bully out of Stainer. The B&B Towing, Nisco National Leasing, number 48 is Dwayne Baker. Next in line out of Guelph, the Shaw Motorsports Epic Raceware, number 72 is Junior Farley. Right behind him, another driver from Guelph with a sporty new look. The NTN Bearings Wellington Systems, number 83 is Dale Shaw. The other number 10 had some great luck this offseason, winning a couple $1 million in the lottery out of Southampton. The Graham Family Auto Car Quest Gingrich Service Center, Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing. Number 10, it's Tom Gibbons. And rounding out the group from Aurelia, the SSG Gloves, Airedale Carriers Holdaway Motorsports Toyota, number 4, Connor James.
Green in the air. We are firing him up there. You see Dale Shaw, 2015 champ.
Dwayne Baker, I don't know if this is strategy or choice, but Dwayne Baker, now he's coming up to speed. We are under green. The clock is ticking. A little bit of gamesmanship out here.
I believe that's the same car Samantha Shaw has been driving here on Saturday's late model competition. Dale behind the wheel now. That number 83 machine. Good looking paint scheme. Great to see NTN Bearings getting involved with his program.
And Dale Shaw did well here last season with the APC series, a couple of second-place finishes, so he was the bridesmaid here twice.
I believe both of them were late passes, if I'm not mistaken. One of them was last lap. I believe J.R. Fitzpatrick got him one night, and Jordan House got him with 6 or 8 laps to go the other night. So Shaw's fast here. He knows his way around this place.
Junior Farley up into the top 10, but only 10th. Dale Shaw jumps up to the 5th place in that number 83. Tom Gibbons to 7th. Let's see what they can do on this final lap.
It looks like Brandon Watson's record's going to stay intact.
There's some heavy hitters coming up. Dale Shaw gets up to that 2nd spot, so Rick Spencer Walt still up top with a 14.103. Dale Shaw into 2nd, Kyle Steckley 3rd, Jake Sheridan 4th, Josh Stoddy rounding out the top 5, and there is one more group to come out onto the racetrack, and here's who we're going to see. First car was fastest in practice out of Orono. The Mobile 1 B&W Enterprises 54, it's Danny Benedict. The 84 comes out of Cambridge. The Cambridge Rigging Transaxle H2O Mobile Wash 84. It's J.R. Fitzpatrick. The 81's from Sauble Beach. The Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park CUSW Canadian Union of Skilled Workers Ford. Number 81, it's Andrew Grezel. Behind him out of Hillsdale. The Hillsdale Service Center Northern Equipment Ford. Number 39, Travis Halliburton. And rounding out the group, he was impressive in practice. Out of Dundas, the SDR seating, Stage It With Style, Nick's Journey, number 74 of Eric Dalariva. Well, he's got a good cheering section.
Made some noise for the 74. One of the Shaw Motorsports cars. 3 of them on tour this year. Dale Shaw behind the wheel of one of them, Junior Farley in the other, and of course Eric Dalariva in that 74 machine.
It's amazing to think the top 3 from last year's point standings are not with us this season, yet there is still no clear-cut favorite.
It's pretty surprising that 3 guys would, the 3 guys at the top of the standings would leave, and there's still 10 guys that could win this championship here this year at least.
And still 27 cars here on opening night. I mean, late model racing is in good shape in Ontario, many thanks to Auto Parts Centers, APC.
I think they put not only late model racing in Ontario in a good spot, but obviously the super stocks as well. We saw 20 of them at Delaware on opening night a week ago Friday.
Yeah, and that tour is going to be fantastic. Some of the weekly tracks struggling a little bit with car count, but the division is in good shape.
Right now your top 10 separated by 0.2 of a second.
Now it's time to go. J.R. Fitzpatrick up to the 7th spot in that number 84 machine. How far can these drivers climb through the rankings? Danny Benedict all over the rev chip at the start-finish line. Fitzpatrick up to the 2nd spot. Just 3 100ths of a second slower than Rick Spencer Walt. White flag coming out for Danny Benedict.
There's Dalariva working through 1 and 2, and J.R. Fitzpatrick unable. Well, he found a little more speed on the final lap, but not enough to upset Rick Spencer Walt.
Wow. A little bit slower on that final lap for Fitzpatrick.
Danny Benedict, he won practice 14th quick in qualifying.
Well, Rick Spencer Walt was 22nd in practice, and guess what? He is your pole sitter, your Fast Time Award winner for tonight's Dayco 100. Clinton Jeffrey is with Rick Spencer Walt.
Well, Rick, you're on our list of guys to watch today, and you certainly put yourself at the top of that sheet. You know the quick way around here, Sunset. You just showed that that's a pretty good deal with the crew of cars here tonight.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I didn't get us there. Paulie and McCall's, they got us there. If they weren't building these cars and making them turn, I wouldn't be anywhere up here where I am.
What's your game plan for 100 long laps?
Well, I wanted to kind of bide some time. I don't know, as a leader now, when you're taking off, it's kind of hard to hold back. You still got to kind of save some stuff and not use it up, but you still got to be on the gas and passing too. So I imagine we'll be into lap cars pretty soon into this race. Hopefully you can kind of save running through some lappers and see how it goes, I guess.
Good luck, Rick Spencer. Walt, ladies and gentlemen, your pole sitter for the APC Late Model Series tonight. We'll be right back with a quick break here on G-Force TV.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new. And so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it in the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing that. That's my forte.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickwick.com. Early man discovered fire, but Quick.
Welcome back. Live G-Force TV. We're getting ready for the redraw here on the front straightaway. Pole sitter will pull number 4 for Rick Spencer Waltz. We'll see who's up next. J.R. Fitzpatrick gets out the happy fingers. Number 5. Should have yelled louder from the side. Who's up next? Dale Shaw, driver of the NTN 83, reaches in and he will pull number 3. Number 3 for Dale Shaw.
Those other two guys are chomping at the bit now. They know what's left.
And now Kyle, he's got a shot. Can it be the magic one? It is not. It's number 2. And just for making sure it's up and up, make sure it's in there. And number 1 goes to Jake Sheridan. So Jake Sheridan and Kyle Steckley will go from the front row. Kyle, we talked to Jake earlier. You know, how do you feel about your run here? You've had some great runs. You won at Flamborough unexpectedly. This is the year you're supposed to come out. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, ready to get back racing here and starting up front, which is always good, and hopefully we can just stay up there and keep up there for the end of the race with our APC Camaro and hopefully have a shot at it at the end.
There you have it, Kyle Steckley. We'll watch for him. And I think Spencer's got one of our Fast Eddie driver spotlights queued up for Dale Shaw. Go ahead, run it, Spencer.
Win. It's pretty simple. I haven't won a race since 2016. We were so close last year. We led both races at Sunset and got past in the last 5 laps, and we got to win. And and end up, obviously, at the end of the year, it's nice to get the big check, but I want to win bad.
Who would have thought, Adam? It's been all the way since 2016 when Dale Shaw won a feature in the APC.
That's, you know, and that's why you got to enjoy them. You got to celebrate the victories because they're not easy to come by, and you can go a long time. You know, think about the speed he has had since then, and to never be able to knock that monkey off his back and drive into victory lane. He's got lots of reasons tonight. Paul Mio is here from NTN Bearings, and that car looks beautiful with NTN all over it, so you know Dale Shaw's got plenty of reason to want to park it in victory lane.
Well, it's not like he hasn't given himself chances. Again, like he said in the clip, he led till late. I know Jukasa a couple years ago, he went from the back of the pack to a third-place finish. All he needed was a caution or two. He would have been right in the mix. And again, he's a former champ. Definitely knows how to get to victory lane.
The challenge is, Jamie, there's a lot of drivers here who know how to get to victory lane. You look up and down the roster, this field of cars, there are some heavy hitters. And not just that, there's some dominant drivers, but there's also people who are really good at getting the most out of their race car, being consistent, saving a car. 100-lap races are a lot different than the 35, 40-lappers that you see on a regular Saturday night.
Well, that's where for years I saw just how good Brandon Watson was, because he would save his stuff. Never put himself in a bad position, and ended up picking up a lot of victories over the years in the APC series, and he wasn't usually a factor till the second half of most races.
We're going to whip out some other features that we did in the off-season on Media Day. We asked the drivers, if your pet could talk, what would they say about you? Here's what they had to say.
That I don't sleep enough.
Are you eating again?
Probably tell me to shut up.
They'd say go away or give me a treat.
Probably that I'm a pretty good owner. Let's calm down and just relax.
They'd say that I've got a pretty badass owner. That I should feed them more.
That I talk too much. They'd probably want some more treats.
And here's the scene, Sunset Speedway. Getting closer and closer to the Dayco 100 here this evening. Again, Jake Sheridan drawing the pole. Kyle Steckling on the outside of the front row. Dale Shaw. Rick Spencer Walt will be in row 2. And then J.R. Fitzpatrick. Joining him will be Josh Stoddy in row 3. Shea Gamble, Eric Dalariva, Tom Gibbons, and Andrew Gressel. Rounding out the top 10, you see them working on TJ Edwards' car. Last year's Oscar Modified champion.
And I don't think we're going to have much time turning these cars around. I believe their goal is to get things ready and fire off this program. Great job by track promoters Brian and Sandra Tonish, with Luke Ramsey, Alex Nagy, trying to do what's best for the fans, what's best for the racers.
It looked grim last night. You know, they said they were going to make the call at 8 this morning. I woke up, checked my phone. Okay, off we go to Sunset. Luke Ramsey, part salesman and part meteorologist.
I'll tell you what, I left Cambridge this morning. It might have been 11:30 in the morning or so. And I'm coming up Town Line Road, just about to get on the highway, and the weather, I've never seen anything like this. The wind picked up, and they say they didn't say anything about tornadoes. It must have been an updraft, but I was stopped at a stoplight. There's about a 60-foot pine tree, a whole row of them. One of them snapped right in half. The top of these trees were blowing off. There were chunks of trees all in the road, all around us. I've never seen the entire 401 basically pull over and stop at the same time. But that's what they did.
Well, we didn't get it until we got here. We drove through okay weather to get here, but obviously a storm hit here and continued eastward.
Brendan Doherty mentioned it a little bit earlier. How excited are you to return to Peterborough Speedway?
Well, obviously I'm a Delaware homer. We've discussed that before. I mean, that's my home track. That's where I grew up. If you said to me you could go to one other track in the province to watch a race, that's where I'd probably head. I mean, it's just an absolute great track to watch race. You see close close racing the whole time you're there. Lots of contact, elbows up. It is Canada's toughest third mile. And great to see the APC series go back there. The Quick series went there last year as a standalone event. I believe they sent 6 cars home without racing that night.
Yeah, there was a big field of cars there for sure. And that's a racetrack where there's really no straightaways.
No.
You are always turning at Peterborough.
It's a big fishbowl. You just keep turning. And, again, when you got 26 cars out there, it doesn't take very long before you're in lap traffic. Again, some of the guys talked about that here tonight. It's not going to be long until these guys get into lap traffic once we finally drop the green on the Dayco 100. What a great-looking field of cars here today. And Chenoa's car looking dynamite.
And there's a lot of good-looking cars. I'm just working on the lineup right here. I don't know what it is about the 39 and Travis Halliburton. I just think that's a really slick-looking ride. But there's so many to choose from.
Adam, I got Ryan Kimball here. You got so much going on here today. You got the boss man back. You've given him the car that you feel comfortable in. That's going to change your deal a bit tonight. How's it going so far?
It's actually not going very well, unfortunately. No, these guys are working really hard. He's got a really good piece, unfortunately. Just trying to get comfortable. That car, we were top qualifier last week. I was super happy with my car in practice. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of practice and whatnot, 10 laps, so it was, we'll deal with the circumstances we were given. And I don't know what happened with the tires I got. I mean, either they're shit or whatnot. I just got no bites. So I think it's going to be a long night for us. So we'll see if we can come in, get some adjustments, and see what we got at the end of the night.
Appreciate your time. Ryan Kimball's having a busy day, guys, as you can imagine, trying to get Sean Grossman going here. Look at Sean getting ready in the 29 here, right behind where we were talking. Sean's up from Miami, Florida, as you mentioned earlier, guys. And Sean getting back behind the wheel after a little bit of time out.
And I mean, he's got plenty of experience. What he was racing previously was super late models. But again, it can't be easy to just fly up, climb in the race car, and perform. It's also not easy for the guy who has to get your stuff ready for you to fly up and jump in the car and perform, Jamie.
And it better be ready when he gets here, you know. And but looks like I said, they got Grossman's car quick. I'm sure Ryan Kimball will be able to overcome whatever problems they're having with that car. Like he said, you might see a couple early pit stops by that 29 car to make some adjustments. And we're going to cut to a driver spotlight. We had a chance to talk to J.R. Fitzpatrick preseason.
What drives me the most, everybody says I'm overrated. And that kind of pisses me off. So I do my best to prove to people and myself that I can still get it done. Like I said, the last couple of years has been a bit of a struggle for me, but even just today in the first 5 laps, I know we're going to be good this year, and I'll show them where my experience is going to come from.
Well, JR, we just saw your driver spotlight here live on GeForce TV from our preseason. Said it gets you fired up that they say you're overrated. Are you fired up today, JR?
Yeah, the car is really good. This McCall Enterprises number 84 machines. What I've been missing, man, these last few years, these things really turn good. And yeah, I guess I'm one of the old guys in the field now, and I just got to see if I can beat all these young kids a little bit.
Used to see you be front.
Yeah, that's why they put Grumpy on my roof, I suppose. But, I mean, it's just a lot going on in race days. But for those that don't know me, I'm a pretty friendly guy.
Come on over, get autograph, fans. JR, I'd love to see you. Good luck, JR Fitzpatrick, as he takes this Meineke transaxle APC machine. No.
Maybe not right now. Maybe we don't go get that autograph right now, but later on.
Well, the pits are open after for sure. Just pop on down if you got a kid that likes one of these cars out there. Take them down, meet the driver. I'm sure they'd be more than accommodating. And a big change for JR. He's a former series champ. But we talked about this. I know you talked about this. We both talked about this with him at Media Day. He's monkeyed around with some different stuff over the last couple of years. Had some different chassis manufacturers, some from the U.S. in. Now he's gone back to a marriage he had with McCall's. And like he said, he was a couple laps into his run opening practice day at Delaware. He's absolutely thrilled with the car. I think that could be the thing that puts him back to the top of the championship standings this year.
It really could be. I mean, Mike McCall has helped a lot of people get great speed here in Ontario. Of course, we've got White Motorsports as well, putting some cars on the racetrack. It's great to have that competition, but J.R. Fitzpatrick wanted to be kind of a standalone team. He wanted to build his own speed, and as nice as that is, collaboration can do a lot of things, and collaboration with the right people like Mike McCall can bring you some serious speed.
There you see some of the big changes. Shea Gemmel owns his own program this year. That APC sponsored number 3, and right beside him, one of the other APC sponsored entries, Rookie of the Year contender Kyle Steckley. There's Danny Benedict, J.R. Fitzpatrick, and last minute chat from Stretch and Chris McComb down there.
You know, I was looking through some of last year's results, and I didn't even remember that we didn't start racing in this series until August last year.
I believe it was July 1st at Delaware was race 1.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, July 1st at Delaware was race 1 last year.
But there was a lot of August, September as I was looking through the results on the APC page.
Well, normally we have, 9 race events over 17 weekends, and last year we had to jam 9 of them into about 12 weekends, which, you know what, really showed just how good these crews are. Nobody really missed a beat.
No, they really came through, and I'm stumbling to find the page that I was on. Forget it. I'll never find it again. I'm terrible at that. Navigating things under pressure.
No, I remember last year the season opener for the APC and the season opener at Delaware Speedway was Friday, July 1st. Well, it might have been the 30th of June, but it was the Friday night we went racing. And I'll tell you what, a packed house at Delaware last Friday night.
You're right. July 2nd and July 18th at Flamborough, and then everything else is August, September. We reeled off a bunch of races all in a row. But, yeah, everything looked fantastic for opening night down there at Delaware.
Great crowd between the bone stocks, the late models, the super stocks, and the V8 stocks. Almost 100 cars on property. Late model race was great. And, Adam, there was 2 passes for the late model lead, both of them on the outside, if you can believe it. 73 at Cole Powell, he took the lead away from Ray Morneau, but Morneau took it back a few laps later. And again, both those passes coming in the outside of turn 4. If you want to see something, definitely make plans for that July 1st weekend to head down to Delaware Speedway. Check out the new asphalt. Crew's done a lot of work on the track down there. Of course, we're back in action APC a couple weeks from now. Flamborough Speedway, London Recreational Racing 100.
I love a full field of late models at Flamborough Speedway. The fun for me is go to a place like Delaware. It is completely different than a Flamborough show, completely different from a Sunset show. This has a different vibe as well. Sunset's a place you can run 2 wide lap after lap after lap because the inside and the outside are such distinct grooves here for one. But for another, it's very hard to clear somebody on the bottom. You don't run lap after lap after lap side by side at Flamborough Speedway, not without your knuckles just glowing white. That's some white knuckle laps.
And a whole bunch of wrap taken off the right side of one car and the left side of another. Again, that's the one nice thing we've got on this series. Even though it's all short track racing, it's a whole bunch of different short tracks. You've got, again, the bowl at Peterborough where you never stop turning. And then you got Sauble, which is more like a Flamborough, I think, where you really got to work on the bottom there to be fast. But, again, we've seen a lot of guys at Sauble be able to master that outside groove. Yeah, I don't think you have the same opportunity at Flamborough. Outside just doesn't quite work as well. And, again, with Delaware, they've really done some work on the asphalt, some more fresh asphalt. You're going to see some more grip on cars and a lot of 2-wide racing.
With Flamborough, you can run the outside. You need cooperation of the car on the inside. Sean Chenoweth, J.R. Fitzpatrick, they'll tell you, if you can get hooked up out there, you can make tracks. But if you want to get rude in the race car, you can keep someone from being able to make a move out there. But what we found, racing is a self-cleaning sport. If you get rude too many times, there are plenty of people on the racetrack that will remind you you need to mind your manners.
On the back of our iRacing car that we use in endurance races, it says very clearly, "We retaliate."
Guys, I got Matt Pritico here. Matt, multi-time champ. You know, didn't have the season you wanted last.
Global warranty 21 Ford. It's a stout car. We got a great piece tonight, and I think season this year. I'm looking forward to getting it underway.
Good luck, Matt Pritico, as he tries to roll it off here in the Global warranty number 21.
I think we need to get Clinton Jeffrey a microphone like Bob Barker uses. So the end that transmits back here, it's like the length of a golf club. You just stick it in the car and best of both worlds.
He'll stick it somewhere. He'll stick it somewhere.
There you see he's under the hood of the Dwayne Baker car. So under the hood, under the front, under the back. Big problems for the bully. Winner of our inaugural race here on the APC Tour back in 2015. Ten different winners here at Sunset over the years. Brandon Watson had 3 victories. Andrew Gressel has 2. And then singles go to Dwayne Baker, Dale Shaw, Rick Spencer, Walt, Jordan Sim here in the field tonight, as well as Matt Pritico. Joe Lawrence not in the field this evening. Jordan House also with a victory here at Sunset Speedway. That came Sunset race number 1 last year. In the second Sunset event, it was J.R. Fitzpatrick going to victory lane.
Jamie, it is time to go racing. Let's meet the starting lineup for tonight. Dayco 100. Starting 27th from Stayner, Ontario, the B&B Towing Nisco National Leasing number 48, Dwayne Baker. Starting 26th from Kitchener, the Blast Floor Coating Epoxy and Concrete Shot Blasting Chevrolet number 1, Sean McGlynn. On the inside of row 13 from Miami, Florida, the SMG Motorsports Flying Ryan Kimball Motorsports number 29G, Sean Grossman. Starting 24th, the Custom Forming Walls Bondsman Brother Concrete Pumping number 29 from Fraserville, James Horner. Starting 23rd from Guelph, the Spira Fire Protection High-Grade Steel Roofing Systems number 86, Billy Schwarzenberg. To row number 11 we go. Row 11 on the outside. From Norwood, Ontario, the SMG Motorsports GTA Racing Designs Flathead Design Chevrolet number 29, Flying Ryan Kimball. Starting 21st from Plattsville, the London Recreational Racing Mannheim Apex Oil Caldecott Millwright Services number 89, Sean Chenoweth. Starting 20th from Sault Ste. Marie, the Sims Countertops Ford number 47, Jordan Sims. Starting 19th from Oro, the Paragon Auto Trim of Barrie number 10S, Gord Shepard. Starting 18th from Hillsdale, the Hillsdale Service Center Northern Equipment number 39 Ford, Travis Halliburton. Starting 17th from Coldwater, the CM Precision Machining and Welding number 31, Jade Franklin. Starting 16th out of Cambridge, the JP Powder Coating Vincent Lawn Equipment number 97, the Boomer Blair Wickett. Starting 15th from Guelph, the Shaw Motorsports Epic Racewear number 72, Junior Farley. Starting 14th from Orno, The Mobile 1 B&W Enterprises Chevrolet number 54, Danny Benedict. Alongside him in 13th from Aurelia, the SSG Gloves, Airedale Carriers, Holdaway Motorsports Toyota number 4, Connor James. Row 6 on the outside. He won one of the APC races here last season from Hillsburg. The BW Towing McMaster GMC Orangeville BBTS Markdale Chevrolet number 8, Jordan House. Starting 11th from London, the Global Warranty ToyotaTown.com Toyota number 21, Matt Britico. Now, race fans, your top 10 on the outside of row number 5. From Sauble Beach, the Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park, CUSW, Canadian Union of Skilled Workers Ford, number 81, Andrew Gressel. To his inside, starting 9th from Southampton, the Graham Family Auto Car Quest, Gingrich Service Center, Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing Chevrolet, number 10, Tom Gibbons. Starting 8th from Dundas, the SDR Seating, Stage It With Style, Nick's Journey, number 74, Eric Dalariva. Starting 7th from Dorchester, the APC Auto Parts Centers, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle Ford, number 3, Shay Gemmel. On the outside of row number 3, from Chesley, the Canadian Flat Roof Systems, APC Bruce Service Toyota, number 17, Josh Stoddy. Now your top 5. Starting 5th in the Cambridge Rigging, Transaxle H2O Mobile Wash Chevrolet, number 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Starting 4th, he was our fast timer here this afternoon from Oro Medonti, the Caldecott Millwright Services Chevrolet number 31W, Rick Spencer Walt. Starting 3rd from Guelph, the NTN Bearings Wellington Systems Chevrolet number 83, Dale Shaw.
Adam, I got him here. Dale, you know, you got new sponsors on. Great to have an international company like NTN Bearings come on board and help us deliver the ultimate bearing experience. How do you feel in your new livery?
Man, really good. We got a really good car today. I didn't think we were going to qualify that good because we kind of went with a little bit more race setup today, so I'm really excited, and I'm thankful Paul and everybody from NTN come on board. We've been kind of working towards something like this for probably 30 years now, my dad and I, so hopefully we put a good show on for today and maybe end up in victory lane.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Dale Shaw will roll off 3rd. Adam, the pole sitters remain.
On the outside of row number 1, from Milverton, the Quick Wick Fire Starter, A.W. Millwright Stewart's Equipment Chevrolet number 22, Kyle Steckley. And starting on the pole, in the Pride Zeeds, Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane Ford, number 52 from Mount Bridges, Jake Sheridan. Race fans, that is your starting lineup. Looking back into the pits, the Dwayne Baker car, the hood is closed. That could mean one of two things, Jamie. They're done and they're ready to head over to the beer garden in turn 2, or the car is ready and they're going to go racing.
There's not really much in between there, is there?
There really isn't.
Now, you notice when they were doing the top 5 redraw, I did notice that bag was purple. I couldn't quite see from up here, but Kevin Milne did ask us on Facebook. They want to know where the bottle that was in that bag went. I don't know if we got an answer yet.
It's time. Are you guys... Here we come for the most famous words in racing. We got the reps here from Dayco. Fans, are you ready? Let's hear you make some noise. We're ready to go. You guys ready? Here we go. Let's hear it. 3, 2, 1.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
2022 is about to get underway, Adam.
I couldn't be more excited. After the longest off-season in the history of racing, I swore, I thought Luke Ramsey was barefoot on the front stretch. Those shoes absolutely match the skin on his calves. Many thanks to the folks from Dayco who came out here today. I hope you're having a great time. That was the biggest supporting cast I've ever seen for a Start Your Engines call.
Yeah, not too many times you get 6 or 7 people down there to do it, right?
But one voice.
Yeah, just one. She was just the loudest, I think.
Well, there you go. She either drew the long straw or the short straw, but one way or another, the cars are fired up.
She's either the manager at work or in charge of customer complaints, one of the two.
Yellow flag being displayed by Sean Gibbs in the flag stand. This field is going to roll. What a beautiful view on the front straightaway as the cars come to life. Once again, thank you so much, race fans, for making the trip to Innisfil, to Sunset Speedway for the opening race of the 2022 APC Series. And for those of you joining from home, I'm glad if you're in the area that your power is on and your internet's working, because in a lot of parts of Ontario, the storms today were intense, so we hope you're safe. And we hope you can enjoy a good time with us here tonight. Jordan Sims with a problem. Or speaking of the beer garden, he happened to stop right there. I don't think he's trying to pick one up to go. But he'll get rolling once again. Dwayne Baker. Oh, we've got a 50-50 ticket. Is that the winner? I can't read the number from here. Folks, give these drivers a wave. They're going to be waving back. Arms out the window.
Well, guys, here's our Fast Eddie ones to watch today. We've got 4 of them on the list. Kyle Steckley, Rick Spencer-Walt in the 31, J.R. Fitzpatrick, and Josh Stoddy. Now, we talked to a lot of them in the pre-race. Josh Stoddy was one guy who said, I just have to keep a positive outlook and I can get this done. He had terrible luck last year. We saw Kyle Steckley do it in the past. And how about Rick Spencer-Walt? We know he can get it done, guys. So those are your Fast Eddie drivers to watch here tonight as we get set to go green.
Winning 50-50 ticket, folks. If you have the ticket number 0314660, 0314660, we are going to announce this a few times over the course of tonight, so keep your 50-50 tickets handy.
Yeah, we are getting the one to go, Adam. Third of a mile from now, we're going to kick off the 2022 race season. Great shot from the drone. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's our new drone pilot, Abby.
He's got some chops, man.
He's getting it done down there. We supplied him with a drone. Hey, would you mind if I use mine? Nope. Jake Sheridan on the inside in the 52. Kyle Steckley up high in the 22. Green flag is out on 2:20:22.
1 and 2 they work. It's going to be the 52 of Sheridan squeaking out front. Steckley will climb in the line by him. And contact already. Dale Shaw into the left rear of Steckley. Now they'll race for second down into turn 1.
They're 3 wide further back. Matt Britico to the inside of Tom Gibbons. That's Jordan House all the way to the high side in the number 8. They get that sorted out. Tom Gibbons falls back.
Britico getting a twofer there last time down the backstretch. That battle for second still side by side. Rick Spencer-Walt trying to figure out who to follow. Does he go with Steckley on the top side or Dale Shaw on the bottom?
The nice thing is, as long as nobody's challenging Fitzpatrick, he can take his time choosing. They've pulled away just a little bit from Fitzpatrick and Stoddy, so Rick Spencer-Walt all by himself in the 4th spot as Jake Sheridan jumps out to about 5 car lengths over Shaw and Steckley. And no matter whether you're Shaw or Steckley, you've got to realize, hey, I don't want to be side by side using up this rubber for too long.
So they work through 3 and 4, still side by side. Steckley up top. 2 career APC starts to his credit. Again, a big win at Flamborough last summer, as well as a top 10 finish at Delaware in the season closer. He's still side by side.
And there is no favorite out there in that side-by-side battle between Shaw and Steckley. Now Steckley kind of pulls out. Shaw keeping his nose to the inside. We've got a sign on the front straightaway down near turn number 1. Not sure if that's going to cause much problem. Whoa, we got trouble in turn number 3. That will cause a problem. Yellow flag being displayed as Jade Franklin. Oh, wow, Gord Shepard in that number 10. That car is munched.
A lot of heavy damage to the right front of that car.
Let's have a look at the replay from our speed shot, and I believe this is going to be, wow. Gord Shepard sort of got hooked to the right a little bit, just at the part of the backstretch. There's not a good place to hit the wall, but when you hit the wall just as it starts to jut out and it makes the angle that much more difficult, that's not where you want to hit.
And there you see another car down in the pits getting some work done on this 31 of Jade Franklin.
I'm here, Jamie. They've got some body damage, obviously, on the front end of this car, but I don't see anything other than that. It looks like a bit of fiberglass problems. They're going to try and adjust the hood a bit here, but nothing majorly wrong here with the Jade Franklin 31, guys.
No, and you know, Clint, they could be. Once you figure out things are working, again, they didn't get a lot of practice, and then it was time for qualifying, so if there is anything they want to change, they've got time to do it. It almost looks like, okay, is that a tool they brought out, or are they actually putting a new hood pin on?
They got the big hammer out. That's never a good sign. We're going to see this.
That's the problem, Adam. It's the hood pins. They can't quite get them back where they need to be. And you see they're trying to put 1 or 2 back in place and just bend it over so it fits back through the hole where they can get it. And they're getting it done. Looks like they've got it there. Billy Schwarzenberg also in the pits. And we'll move over here once we get done with Jade Franklin and look at what's going on with Dwayne Baker's 70 up. They've got the hood up on that car as well.
I think Billy Schwarzenberg was the one that had contact with the 10S of Shepard. It looked like Shepard tried to drift up to the wall and Schwarzenberg was still there. I mean, it might have been Shepard's deal on his own.
I couldn't tell if it was Schwarzenberg or if it was Halliburton. I thought it looked like a car with a black front end. Spencer, if you're able to run that once more for us as they're buttoning down the hood of the Nisco National Leasing 48.
Yeah, guys, looked like he had a problem with one of the stabilizer bars here under the right front. They're working on the suspension on the right front. They had also the back end up trying to figure out what's up with the Dwayne Baker 48, guys.
Yeah, Schwarzenberg was way to the inside. I think it was Halliburton. Which ultimately doesn't matter. I don't think there was anything untoward with how that set up, just a bunch of racers. You could see it over the opening laps. Everybody was checking up quite a bit to avoid running over each other.
Well, Adam, look who they've got down here in the pit stall trying to figure this one out. Mr. Hanley down here trying to sort out what's up. Going to make a tire pressure adjustment. I thought it was a little more worse than that, but we'll see.
Well, they're doing some fine tuning. Now, crews right now are with Gord Shepard tending to the driver. We'll give you an update as it becomes available. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side on G-Force TV. Welcome back to Sunset Speedway. The cleanup continues down here in turn number 3 as they're trying to find the right spot on the 10 machine of Gord Shepard to hook that car up. I mean, as you can see, the right front suspension has just been sheared entirely off of that number 10S.
Yeah, Adam, they got big time problems here. This one is going to take a moment to get it towed off. As you can see, they're having to strap the whole right front suspension up, and you wonder why they do that. Well, you don't want to damage anything else. You don't want to rip off anything else that isn't already ripped off. So towing crew from B&B going to do a bit of work here.
I think they got to take the whole front end off that car, period.
Yeah, we'll see here, Jamie.
We've also,
it may just get ripped off.
Well, yeah, and then there comes a point when the damage is done and the show must go on.
I think the damage is done and the show must go on with this one for sure.
Yeah. Happy 50th birthday to Stacy Lou. That is from Wendy. So one of the things that we're going to try to add to the program in 2022 to work with the tracks we're going to is upcoming events calendar. So folks, here's what's upcoming at Sunset Speedway in the coming weeks. Of course, May 22nd is Spring Velocity Day 2. Next weekend, May 28th, you've got limited late models, super stocks, mini stocks, bone stocks, and junior late models. Grandstands open at 4:30, racing at 6 p.m. On June 4th, the Ontario Sportsman Series comes to town, along with mini stocks and bone stocks. Grandstands open at 4:30, racing at 6. And on June 11th, Tarpon Lumber and Truss presents Pro Late Models, Super Stocks, Mini Stocks, Bone Stocks, and Junior Late Models, with, of course, Grandstands opening at 4:30, racing at 6 p.m. That's your Quick Wick Fire Starter upcoming event schedule. Well, they've got the Gord Shepard number 10 moved in a different direction now.
Got it hooked up. That was the toughest part, I think.
And folks in the grandstands, you're going to get a look at this race car if you haven't popped on to GeForce TV to check things out. You might be surprised at how badly damaged this race car is.
Left front's pointed at the fire, the right front up the chimney. And tough break for the Ridge Road Racing crew. Gord Shepard, a former champ here at Sunset Speedway. Unfortunately, tonight's not going to be the night for that 10S.
No, it is not. And I'm not sure if they'll tow that to the infield or if they'll take that right to the outside pit area. It's not an enjoyable ride. Sitting in the race car, you got nothing to do but think about what went down and what could have been.
The worst is when you have to ask the guys with the records to give you a hand getting it in the hauler at the end of the night.
You know, I don't know how people do it. Like, almost everybody tows with an enclosed trailer now. I only ever raced with an open trailer. That's what we use now to haul the race car. So if it's bad enough, you pick the car up and pull the trailer underneath it. I don't know. Like, how would you put a car like that into Sean Grossman's stacker trailer? But they find a way.
Piece by piece. It's about the only way, I think. Taking a lot of the broken stuff off. You know, a lot of these guys, Adam, to answer your question, they'll have like a dolly that they can put under one end of the car if they need to sometimes, but it's the one part they hope they never have to use.
You know, and that's part of racing a lot of fans never get to see, is when you crash, the crew has to go to work, and you have to make repairs enough that the car will roll to get it onto the trailer. And I always thought that was insult to injury. You've had a bad enough night that now you're having to work on the car. You can't watch any more races and you're not working on the car to make it perform again. You're working on it so you can get it home and spend more hours fixing it. 6 laps are complete here at Sunset Speedway.
You can see just how much stuff he bent on the TV shot. The right rear fender's rubbing against the tire too, so it's bent from front to back.
Yeah, you don't wish that on anybody. Nice job by the cars that were behind that incident to get through that without suffering further damage.
So 6 laps in here, Sunset Speedway Dayco 100.
Next time by, we're going to set them loose out of turn number 4. Jake Sheridan in the 52. Kyle Steckley in the 22. And it's Dale Shaw in the 83. Rick Spencer Walt in the 31. They're basically where they were to start this race. Green flag is back out and we are underway.
See if Steckley has anything for Sheridan. This time on the restart, doesn't. And it'll be Sheridan squirting out front again. Steckley now side by side again with Dale Shaw. As you see Dalariva trying to make some moves from about 10th on back.
And you can see right now these drivers are giving each other a lot of racing room out there as Rick Spencer Walt way up on the outside looking for opportunity on Kyle Steckley. Nothing to be had right now. Here goes Steckley looking to the inside of our race leader.
Steckley pokes the nose to the inside of Sheridan down in 3 and 4. Sheridan will give him a lane, and the 2 young Lions will drag race down into 1. Sheridan holds his spot for now, but Steckley's still right there.
And nobody is pulling away. How about Matt Pritico? He started outside of the top 10, looking for a spot in the top 5.
Already up to 6th spot. Matt Pritico is rolling in that global warranty machine.
Further back, all sorts of cars. They are just having a check up like crazy. They're 3 wide down into turn number 3, further back in the pack.
Some contact there between Chenoweth and the 39 of Thane Halliburton. They were 3 wide briefly. Luckily, they got shuffled down to 2 wide. This battle still continuing up front. Steckley giving Sheridan all he can handle.
Steckley is keeping Sheridan busy. Rick Spencer Walt settled into 3rd. Dale Shaw back in the clutches of J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84. From 3rd on back, they are single file. It's rare that the field is single file, but the race for the lead is side by side.
First guy tucking out of lines, the 81 of Andrew Gressel. That's back in about 8th or 9th spot. He's taking Josh Stoddy to school. He's got primetime Stoddy caught in the outside lane. And the Sauble Falls Road Warrior to the bottom of Josh Stoddy. He's going to get that spot down the backstretch.
And I mean, when we get to lap 80, lap 90, we're going to keep an eye on Kyle Steckley in the 22. He has been side by side for the majority of the 15 laps run so far today, and I'm not sure how that'll affect the car as we get near the end of this race.
I think it depends on whether you're on the inside or the outside. You definitely, if you are going to be side by side, you want to be the one on the outside if you want to save the tires. He was outside Shaw for a while, but it's been stuck on the inside right now as Spencer Walt pinches him down through the middle of the corner, keeping him tied up down there on the bottom.
Rick Spencer Walt has seen what he needs to see. He's going to the outside. Now Jake Sheridan, he's going to have to choose where he wants to defend. He can run his own line, but at the same time, they've come for him.
I don't think Jake Sheridan needs to get to the bottom to be fast. It looks like he's just as quick one groove up off the bottom.
No, I totally agree, but Rick Spencer Walt, when he decides he wants to go and he's using the outside, how long will he remain patient out there as Kyle Steckley squeezed up?
I think there was a little contact as they got on the brakes down into 1. Sheridan fighting back on the outside. 52 and the 22 going at it for the lead.
A torrid battle there, about a straightaway back from seeing lap traffic. But we don't need lap traffic to make this any more exciting than it already is. Rick Spencer Walt looked to be setting up Kyle Steckley. Entered the corner real high, carved it down to the bottom. He's got a good run down there in 1 and 2, right up on the back bumper of Steckley.
See Shaw and Fitzpatrick going at it a little further back. Fitzpatrick poked a nose to the inside of Shaw a lap ago, but couldn't get it done.
Man, Steckley and Sheridan still door to door, side by side. Not a mark on the door of either of those race cars. They're giving each other lots of racing room. Dale Shaw's closed in. He's going to fill a hole on the bottom of the racetrack as long as Rick Spencer-Walt stays to the top of the track.
I don't think Steckley has led a lap yet. They've been side by side for quite a while. But I don't think Steckley has actually led at the stripe so far.
No, the closest it looks like he's been to me is about a foot off of that lead. Most laps he is about halfway up the car at the 52 of Sheridan. As Rick Spencer-Walt, it's almost like Spencer-Walt is toying with these two leaders. His car looks visibly much faster than either Steckley or Sheridan.
And again, we saw Rick Spencer-Walt, one victory on the APC Tour in a bunch of part-time seasons, and it was here at Sunset Speedway. Great to see him full-time here in 2022. And he's showing that he's going to be a factor here early on. Night number one, the Dayco 100.
Drives immediately to the inside of Jake Sheridan after clearing Kyle Steckley. Now Dale Shaw trying to do the same thing on the outside.
And we'll see if Sheridan can hold off Rick Spencer-Walt on the bottom. He was able to keep Steckley at bay. Sheridan leads another one. One bonus point up for grabs if you lead a lap.
Rick Spencer-Walt noses ahead. Steckley could have a tire going down. That car looks to be very, very loose.
And problems on the 29 off the pace.
He gets all the way to the bottom, out of the way. That's Sean Grossman. And once they clear the Grossman 29, the battle rages on for the top spot.
You still got Walt and Sheridan juicing it out up front. Sheridan again leads by a couple feet at the line. Spencer-Walt right there. Dale Shaw runs third, Steckley fourth. And they have lost the grasp of those front three cars.
Jake Sheridan by 14 one-thousandths of a second maintains the lead. But I believe Rick Spencer-Walt is maybe about to clear him, and he does on the back straightaway. Sheridan tries to get back into line. Dale Shaw gives him a poke in the back bumper and says, I don't think so. It's time for me to move forward, and that's what I want to do. Rick Spencer-Walt out in front. Then it's the 83 of Dale Shaw trying to get around the 52 of Jake Sheridan. They have pulled away from the APC 22 of Kyle Steckley. Steckley fending off J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84 and the 3 of Shea Gemmel.
How about Gemmel? First time out in that car. Again, a brand new team for Shea Gemmel, running his own deal this year with APC support. And trying to challenge Fitzpatrick and Steckley in front of him. As you see your leader, Rick Spencer-Walt, now in lap traffic. Gets by Dwayne Baker, again the winner of the inaugural series event here at Sunset Speedway back in 2015.
Out in front, Spencer-Walt closing in on a 4-car pack of slower traffic. They're still on the lead lap. They've got every right to the lane they're on in the racetrack. Horner going to be the first car. Spencer-Walt closes in on him at 79. Horner goes up the racetrack, gives lots of room to the inside for the race leader, and Rick Spencer-Walt will make that pass fairly easily. Next in line for the race leader is Sean McGlynn. Then it's Jade Franklin and Billy Schwarzenberg ahead of him. Further back, Jordan House just gave a big shove to the 10 of Tom Gibbons. Blair Wickett right behind him looking for an opportunity. That's a battle a little bit further back. Battle for the 10th position. A little bit of flickering power up here in the production booth.
Jake Sheridan fading now.
So some technical. Technical troubles up here in the booth. So we try to sort through those and keep the action called. Spencer Walt to the outside of the 29 of flight. Oh, I believe that's still Grossman in the 29. Junior Farley, not sure what went wrong with him in the 72, but he is slow around the inside of the racetrack. Second in the event is Dale Shaw in that 83. He's got J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84 right behind him, applying the pressure, but there is nowhere for these lead lap cars to go as the slower traffic is side by side in front of them. Wow, 3 wide in turns 1 and 2 as Dale Shaw and J.R. Fitzpatrick work through the middle of traffic. Shaw's cleared most of it now, just Billy Schwarzenberg, and he is on the inside of that number 86 with Fitzpatrick right behind him in the 84. Fitzpatrick trying to clear the 72 of Farley.
How about that run by Julian Farley in that 72? Working his way from deep in the pack.
So now Fitzpatrick trying to clear the 86 of Schwarzenberg down in turn number 4. Dale Shaw has gotten out from that lap traffic, but he is more than half a straightaway, nearly a full straightaway behind Rick Spencer Walt in the 31. 54 laps are complete here in the Dayco 100. We got them scattered all the way around the racetrack. Spencer Walt putting Connor James a lap down, goes to the inside, the number 4 SSG gloves, and gives him a wave after he's gone by. The traditional thank you from one race car driver to another for making their life a little easier. So we search around the racetrack. Blair Wickett working behind the number 8 of Jordan House. Whoa, Tom Gibbons in the number 10 had a big handful of steering wheel there as he works down into turn number 3. Right behind Andrew Gressel in the 81. Earlier we talked about Matt Pritico marching forward in this one. Pritico is now starting to fall back.
And one guy who's found some speed, the 10 of Tom Gibbons, sitting in the top 10 right now. Chasing down Andrew Gressel in the 81. And Matt Pritico. Tell you what, Tom Gibbons has got some stuff figured out in that 10 machine.
Oh, smoke.
Oh, lots of smoke out of Steckley's car.
It's a problem out of the left front, so I'm not sure if it's a wheel bearing or a brake issue or what it might be. I noticed earlier, Kyle Steckley, that left front disappears when he turns into the corner back inside the fender. Obviously the car is designed or set up that way, but I don't know what would do that.
Still looks like he's struggling. He's got Farley to his outside, and then Gressel, Pritico, Tom Gibbons right behind them. That's Jordan House, last year's winner here at Sunset, and he's going to park it.
We're getting reports of water on the racetrack, and we've got a battle for the second spot. J.R. Fitzpatrick to the inside, and that number 84 of Dale Shaw's 83. They're losing ground to the race leader, Rick Spencer Walt. Now Blair Wickett all sorts of loose. We've had some reports of liquid on the racetrack, and we're seeing a lot of drivers sliding around, having trouble getting any grip. Fitzpatrick still alongside Dale Shaw. He'll clear the 83 down the back straightaway into turn number 3. So with 66 laps complete, J.R. Fitzpatrick has moved up to that second position in the 84.
Benedict now moving into the top 10 of that 54 machine. Grabs the spot away from Tom Gibbons. And Rick Spencer Walton, that 31W, has his car on cruise control. J.R. Fitzpatrick now up to second place. Shaw goes third, Gemmel fourth.
Fitzpatrick is in aggression mode right now. He is threading the needle in lap traffic, doing what he needs to do. The 39 of Travis Halliburton, he is pushing water out the 39 big time. That car is running hot.
That motor's definitely running too hot on the 39.
Rick Spencer Walt puts Blair Wickett a lap down in that number 97. Wickett, that car just looks all sorts of twitchy. The 97, and Blair Wickett, to give you an idea, running in the 14th spot. So only 13 cars remain on the lead lap. Shea Gemmel closes in on Dale Shaw, immediately drives to the inside of the 83 in his Canusa APC number 3 machine. He will take that spot at the stripe, but just by an inch or two.
Yeah,
now
good job by Shea Gemmel.
The 83
in
of
that
Shaw, he'll
machine.
set his sights on J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Gemmel now up in the third spot. And Rick Spencer Walt with a straightaway lead on the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Gemmel third, Shaw fourth. Stoddy in fifth. Jake Sheridan runs sixth, Gressel seventh, Benedict eighth.
Now we've got traffic 2 wide, 3 wide, drivers on different laps. There is a lot going on out on the racetrack right now. A lot of different agendas, cars that have, and drivers that have different levels of success. Some moving forward, some moving backward. But I gotta think most of them would love a yellow flag right about now. Danny Benedict is moving forward. Benedict up to the 6th spot. Made some nice moves, battling right now with Jake Sheridan in the 52 and the 81 of Andrew Gressel. So Benedict up to 6th, having a nice run.
Late stages, just over 20 left to go here at Sunset Speedway in the Dayco 100. Again, Rick Spencer Walt with a healthy lead. There's a shot at Danny Benedict. He's raced his way up into the top 10. Problem for Schwarzenberg. He's up high, wide, and handsome off turns 3 and 4.
I think he might have just gotten out of harm's way there. Didn't want any part of that action. Lets the leader, Rick Spencer Walt, go by. And look at what J.R. Fitzpatrick's dealing with, a side-by-side battle.
Yeah, he's got to get through those lap cars. He's got Shea Gemmel coming. Gemmel third and charging right now. Shaw back to 4th. 5th is Josh Stoddy. Benedict up to 6th. Great run for that 54. Sheridan sits 7th. Andrew Gressel 8th. Tom Gibbons 9th. And Sean Chenoweth now cracked the top 10.
I've got to think Sean Chenoweth would be pretty happy. If you told him he's going to be in the top 10 with 17 laps to go on a green flag run of about 80 laps.
Jordan Sims goes around. I believe that started when he got into the back of the leader, in fact. It was almost like Sims got into the back of the leader, hit the brakes, and the thing just went around on him. But that could have been disastrous for Rick Spencer-Walt, who has dominated this one.
Let's give you a rundown, folks. Race leader with 82 laps to go was Rick Spencer-Walt in the 31W. Second is J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84. The 3 of Shea Gemmel is third. The 83 of Dale Shaw is fourth. The 17 of Josh Stoddy is fifth. 6th through 10th, the 54 of Danny Benedict. The 52, Jake Sheridan, Andrew Gressel in the 81. The 10 of Tom Gibbons, and the 89C of Sean Chenoweth. 11th is Kyle Steckley in the 22. 12th is the 47 of Jordan Sims. Unofficially, that is all we have on the lead lap. We believe Matt Britico in the 21 is a lap down, and that would make sense because he is 2 spots behind the race leader. So Matt Britico 13th. The first car 1 lap down, and he started this race, Jamie, by really moving forward.
Well, Adam, we're down here on pit road. Travis Halliburton getting out of his car. You can see all the water on the ground here, and it's still steaming. So overheating problems for the Halliburton car down here.
And there were reports for many laps that was going on. There was water on the racetrack. As James Horner in the 79 rolls to a rest there off of turn number 4 on the front straightaway. 82 laps are complete. 18 laps to go here at Sunset Speedway on what has been an action-packed, but I want to say a very clean race, Jamie. And I hope I do believe in the announcer's jink, but I don't think that can do it. These drivers have shown a lot of respect out there. Whether you're racing for 3rd or 4th or 15th or 16th, we've seen a lot of drivers check up when you need to check up and give a little space when it's time to give space. I think we're almost to the part of the race where that could go away, but
part of that's just Sunset Speedway. I mean, it's the track lends itself to side-by-side racing. It's tough sometimes to get side-by-side, but once you get there, you can stay there all day long. You see James Horner getting the push. I'll tell you, the guy that I watched during that green flag run, and we had the camera on him for a while, Danny Benedict. What a run. Started 14th this afternoon and all the way up to 6th now, and we got a spotlight on Danny Benedict.
You know, we should definitely showed some speed at some points in last year, but unfortunately we had some new car blues where we just struggled with a brand new car, and you know, sometimes that's how it happens. You know, you have a bit of bad luck and now you're chasing it. So I think now that we're on the 2nd year of this car, I think we'll have a lot better luck, and I think we'll be a lot more successful this year.
While we've got a moment too, Jamie, we should mention Doug Townsend. Close to 30 years working at various racetracks, started working at Varney Speedway, done just about every job there is to do at the racetrack, and we hear that it's his last race working as an official. So Rory sent me that note, and I appreciate that, Rory, because we need to appreciate the race officials, the people that pour all sorts of countless hours because of the love of the sport, and Doug Townsend definitely exemplifies that. I'm going to miss him in the tower.
Well, and you know this as an announcer. I mean, we're not the guys that are working on the cars or driving them or spending the late night hours in the shop, but whether it be the scorers, guy on top of the flag stand, us up here in the announce booth, the guys standing down in the pits holding the fire extinguishers, everybody that comes and works in this industry is a race fan first and foremost. They're here because, you know, maybe they're not mechanically inclined, maybe they can't work on a car, but they have some math skills and computer skills and want to do some scoring, you know?
And you're every bit a racer. If you wake up every day from Christmas until the May long weekend, counting down the days to opening night, and same with fans, you know, people that live for this, but there are so many officials that do a role that's not front and center. I mean, I'm sorry, but people have to listen to me week in and week out because I have a microphone. So, you know, we're visible, or at least we can be heard. There's people who put in more hours than we do, Jamie, and it's kind of behind the scenes. So they're unsung heroes of grassroots motorsport.
How many times have you sat in the announcer's tower when there's an enduro going on and looked over at the scorers and went, there's no way I'd ever want that job?
No. That is all them.
Well, guys, down here in the pits, the Global Warranty 21 and Matt Pritico in. Ryan, and I don't know if you can see him twisting that bar right through that backside window there. They're making an adjustment on the right rear and taking some air pressure out of the number 21. They're going to send Pritico back. Multiple-time champion in this series, struggling a bit today.
Saw Rick McCall down there working, and actually one of the guys on Pritico's car going to be stepping behind the wheel May 31st, making his micro sprint debut on dirt. Brandon Schowler.
Nice.
Picked up a 500cc QRC chassis, and he's going to go racing himself. So wish Brandon all the best in his racing endeavors this year. He's a good job, does a good job as a spotter. See if he's as good as a driver.
We're going to have to get a close-up, and that will be great to see Brandon out there. I want to know what finger the pace truck driver puts out the window for one to go. It was a little suspect. J.R. Fitzpatrick on the inside of Rick Spencer-Walt, your race leader in the 31. 18 laps to go in the Dayco 100.
Shootouts on. Spencer-Walt taking the outside groove. How about that choice? Going to keep Fitzpatrick pinned down on the bottom off turn 2. And that 31 is just as strong now as he was before the caution.
Shows a lot of respect for your competition when you're willing to restart on the outside at a short track. And he was right. J.R. Fitzpatrick raced hard but didn't make any contact. Rick Spencer-Walt leads the way over the 84 of Fitzpatrick. We got them battling side by side for third.
Shea Gemmel started 7th, the Dorchester driver in that Canusa number 3. Now up fighting for third with Dale Shaw. He got Shaw into the last green flag run. We'll see what he can do here as this one shakes down. Going to be 15 to go at the line in the Dayco 100.
Shaw looks pretty sporty up there on the outside. Loses the front end a little bit. He drove in so hard to turn 3. Couldn't keep the car down, but it gave him a nice exit off of 4.
Chenoweth was 10th. He's picked up even more spots. That 89C is rolling. You see a couple cars rack stacked and packed. It's the 3 of Gemmel, the 83 of Dale Shaw, and then right behind them going at it, the 17 of Primetime Stidey and the 54 of Benedict. Benedict now up in the 5th.
Danny Benedict's moving in the right direction right now as they're 3 wide further back. Blair Wickett on the inside, Jade Franklin in the middle, and Ryan Kimball on the outside in the 29.
They shuffle Dalariva up there now. Gemmel has cleared Shaw. Now Shaw in trouble. Benedict right there as well. That 54 is flying. He's up to 5th. He wants another spot.
Close quarters racing as he drives it down the inside of Dale Shaw. They're side by side, losing track of the top 3. Rick Spencer-Walt not really getting away from J.R. Fitzpatrick, but he does have a few car lengths that's got to make him feel a little bit better.
And I can't remember the last time we saw a run like this out of the 89C of Sean Chenoweth as well. Up into the top 10, he started deep in this field, all the way back in 21st.
Got to feel good for Sean Chenoweth. He's had some tough seasons where he very publicly doubted himself whether he should still be doing it. But I'll tell you, Sean Chenoweth should still be doing it.
From 21st up to 8th, and now he's not done. He goes after Andrew Gressel again in the 81. We're down to under 10 to go. Spencer-Walt looks like he's got control of this one. Battle could be coming up for second. Gemmel is gaining. He's inching closer to J.R. Fitzpatrick. Runner-up spot going to be up for grabs as you see Schwarzenberg doing battle with McGlynn deep in the field.
And I don't know that there's still a bitter rivalry, but I don't think Shea Gemmel and J.R. Fitzpatrick spend the holidays together still.
There was a bunch of wrecks a few years ago, and they both seemed to be in about the same place when those wrecks occurred.
And it's more memorable when you're fast. Like, if you crash, you crash. But when you're really fast and you crash with somebody, that seems to stick in the memory banks. As we are getting down to the wire here, this time by at the stripe. It'll be 5 laps to go for Rick Spencer-Walt.
There you see Connor James and Sean McGlynn doing battle deep in the field. Now back up to that battle for second. Shea Gemmel running out of time if he wants the runner-up spot. It's Fitzpatrick in second. Gemmel going after. Gemmel got a good run down into 3. He's there.
J.R. Fitzpatrick left the bottom open. Gemmel got there. He left it open. This will allow Danny Benedict to close in. It'll also allow Rick Spencer-Walt to drive away.
Spencer-Walt loving this in his rearview mirror, but I don't think it really much matters. He's got control of this one. The race is on for second. Gemmel sticks it in there on the bottom off turn 4 again. Fitzpatrick right there as well on the high side. You see Benedict running 4th.
3-car battle for the second position as Rick Spencer-Walt brings them off at turn number 4. 2 laps remain. They rub through turn number 4. Gemmel on the inside into 3. Fitzpatrick up high in the 84.
This is a heck of a battle for the runner-up spot. Gemmel on the bottom. Up top, it's Fitzpatrick. Down into 3 and 4. They're going to get the one to go sign this time by. Benedict snuck in there too as well. Gemmel has cleared Fitzpatrick. Now will Benedict be able to challenge for that bronze medal spot down the backstretch?
Through 3 and 4 for the final time, Rick Spencer-Walt is going to win the Dayco 100. Benedict, Fitzpatrick are both sideways off of 4. Shea Gemmel takes the second spot. Danny Benedict finishes 3rd, and Rick Spencer-Walt with his arms a mile long, celebrating down the back straightaway. What a show by Rick Spencer-Walt. One of the slowest cars in practice. He was not in the top 20 in practice. In qualifying, he set fast time. Things did not go his way in the redraw. He started this race in the 4th spot, but Jamie Maudsley, he bided his time and got out in front, and he was the class of the field.
I think we could have run another 100 laps and wouldn't have much mattered. Rick Spencer-Walt had them covered today. Second career win for the driver of that 31 machine. And the other one coming here at Sunset Speedway as well a few years ago. And again, great to see Rick Spencer-Walt with a full-time deal.
I can't wait for his interview.
Oh,
Rick Spencer-Walt gives some fabulous quotes.
I just think the tour is a better place with Rick Spencer-Walt on it full-time. And congratulations on him getting a deal, and obviously congratulations on going to victory lane here in the Dayco 100.
Clinton Jeffrey is down there on the scene. We're going to send it right down to Clint because it looks like Rick Spencer-Walt. He's being greeted there by Sean Gibbs, but he is climbing out of this race car.
Well, not even going to waste time getting the helmet off. He jumps up to the window there, and Rick Spencer-Walt will celebrate a huge victory here tonight at Sunset as part of the round 1 of the APC Late Model Series. Come on around, Rick. We'd love to talk to you. Well, Rick, that's how you get it done. You know, you go out, you win the pole. Even though the redraw didn't help you, you still managed to get back where it meant. And looked like patience just paid off. You weren't in a hurry, and it worked out for you today.
Yeah. Sweating these things because, man, do they turn. And before this feature, I didn't know what we had. We were 22nd in practice, struggling with some grip off, and we ran some old tires. And, man, did she come alive.
Let's talk about that. You know, you got to be a little bit dejected. Your day isn't going the way you want it to. How do you guys get back up on the horse there and gallop to a win tonight?
Just the crew, man. They worked their backs off all day on the thing. Paulie made some changes. Matt, the tire guy, just well-prepared race cars get you the wins around here. And a lot of good cars out here. A lot of good guys to battle against. It was fun battling Sheridan and Steckley early. JR at the end. If you can beat JR, you're doing something good. I had to one-up him here because he's probably going to be pretty tough at Flamborough. So.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Spencer-Walt, your winner here, around number 1. Adam, give us the field rundown, and we'll get ready with 2nd and 3rd.
Rick Spencer-Walt, your winner. Shea Gemmel, 2nd. Danny Benedict, 3rd. J.R. Fitzpatrick drifted back to 4th in the 84. Rounding out the top 5 was Josh Stoddy in the 17.
6th place went to Dale Shaw in the 83. 7th was Andrew Gressel in the 81. 8th, Sean Chenna with a great run from 21st up to 8th. Tom Gibbons, top 10 finish in 9th. And Kyle Steckley rounds out the top 10.
11th on back, you've got Jake Sheridan, the 52, the 47 of Jordan Sims, and Matt Pritico, the last car on the lead lap. Finishing 14th, 1 lap down, was Blair Wickett. Also 1 lap down, and 15th was Eric Dalariva.
Jade Franklin in the 31 finishes 16th, Connor James 17th. 18th was Ryan Kimball in the 29. 19th, Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg. Running out the top 20, Sean McGlynn.
21st was Junior Farley in the 72. 22nd was Sean Grossman. James Horner was 23rd. Travis Halliburton 24th. Jordan House 25th in the 8th.
Also many laps down in 26th, Dwayne Baker. 50 laps down, and Gord Shepard, again, victim of that unfortunate crunch on the backstretch. Our final car in the running order in 27th.
All right, thanks, guys. I got second and third place here, Shea Gemmel. Shea, what a run for you. The end, this car really came on in those last 10 laps. Talk about the finish.
Yeah, this APC Canusa, Spectre Premium Dayco, AC Delco car was on rails. We knew we were going to be a long run car. We didn't have the qualifying speed as I thought we were going to have. But we were able to have our best qualifying here with the 7th, and then just kind of saved. And then at the end there, I got a good run going and be able to pick them off there one by one. And you got to thank Dayco for supporting this event. They're a huge supporter in the APC series, and especially supporting here at Sunset Speedway. We can't thank everybody more than enough.
There you have it, Shea Gemmel second. Third place here is Danny Benedict. Danny, you know, a long day for you. You started near the back, but to come up here on the podium, pretty good finish.
Yeah, you know, we were fastest in practice, and I thought we had a really good car, and then when we put these feature tires on, the stagger just wasn't even close to what we wanted, and we were just so tight in qualifying there. But all in all, like, just tried to stay patient, tried to work my way through. Actually fell back a couple spots right at the start, just really trying to save it, and then we got that long run and started making my way towards the front. It's so hard to time when you get so far back. You don't know where the leader is, and the last thing you want to do is get lapped. So I think I just fired just a little too early, but still came up to the field, and overall, really great day.
There you have it. Danny Bennington will finish third. We'll be right back after a quick break here on G-Force TV to finish up the program live from Sunset Speedway.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickwick.com.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new, and so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it in the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing it. That's my forte.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway. Jamie Monsley, thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to Flamborough Speedway in a couple of weeks, and your work, my friend, is done.
Punch out. I'm going to watch the last race and make the long drive home to London.
We're going to make some space for Brendan Doherty to come back into the booth, and I got to think that we're stealing his mojo because he does not announce from inside. Brendan Doherty's an outdoor creature. He is of the wild, and we're trying to keep him captive in here, but he is a very good sport. And I appreciate that he gives up his perch when we come to town and announces from the indoors, the great indoors. So Jamie Monsley, as he vacates the booth here, we'll see him again on June 4th when G-Force TV heads to Flamborough Speedway along with the APC series. And just like magic, I look to my right, and Brendan Doherty is in the room shuffling through his affairs to get them in order. We hope Jamie didn't make a mess. I'm not even positive he's house trained.
One accident. You can't play.
And we're clear on the front straightaway. Rick Spencer Walt. I gotta think there might be an adult beverage or two consumed by Rick Spencer Walt and those who travel with him. I think they're going to celebrate tonight, and deservedly so. Second win in the series for Rick Spencer Walt, both coming at this racetrack. Shea Gemmell going to climb in that 3 machine, drive it back to the pits to Daryl Timmermans and his technical inspection. Nothing's official until Daryl Timmermans tells you you are clear. Brendan Doherty, welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, let's turn you on. What's off here? No, that's not it. There's got to be a switch turned off somewhere. Might have to get you. Sorry about that. We'll get you to pick up Jamie Monsley's.
There's an easier way to go about this, and I just found it. So we're good. That was a good race.
I enjoyed it. Like we said with Jamie, when you can get to the end of a race and you've been entertained, you've seen some good action, and nobody has completely wrecked their equipment. Gord Shepard, the exception, but by and large, most of these cars will roll into the trailer, and they'll have a piece remaining when they go to Flamborough Speedway in a couple of weeks to do it again.
That's good to see Rick Walt. I mean, the hometown boy, basically, 2-time late model champion here. His now both career APC wins coming here at Sunset, so they will party hard tonight. Him, Robbie Sykes, Ellen Wallace, the whole team. Good thing they don't have to race again this weekend. They're well prepared. So this will be the feature event for the Outlaw Midgets presented by Innisfil Canadian Tire. Starting on pole, the 8 machine, the BW Towing, SNS Transport, MCI Automation, Hypertech, Lubricant Century. That is Larry Lawson. 62 is Rob McCall, the Link Climate Care, Byers Motorsports, Tirecraft Aurora, Creature Designs, Casey's Motorsports, HB Cycle, MBD Race Cars, TSS Top Shops entry. Next in line, we have the 2. That's Jessica James, the Wagner Painting, Gifford Hydroform Pipes, APC Belleville, Falcon Fire and Services entry. Able to still maintain a great starting spot even though the mechanical failure in the heat race. So see if Jessica James can have made the repairs properly and got that car set for feature race action. Next in line should be the number 53. That is Mike Bradley, the Daco Belts Ambient Air HVAC, Ryan's Machine Shop entry. 18, that is Jeff Blackburn, the Falcon Fire Services number 18 ride. 98, that is Kevin Spees, 17 machine is Mike Homewood, the Mosaic Floors and More. Biederman Family Quality Pro Painting 17 machine. The 4, that is Jamie Key driving for car owner Roger Cook. And then we have the 46.5, that is Kayla Semple. The finish line spray foam JDS Contracting, R Simple Solutions, Georgian Waste Services, Red Line Graphics ride. 88, that is Dan Curving. Curving missed the first round of qualifying heat races. The Timber River Naturals NDT Group Quality Control Council of Canada Cam's Cool Treats ride. And rounding out the field, the 93, that is Adam Crothers by the wheel of the Tirecraft Aurora, number 93 ride. See if they've sorted out their mechanical problems after qualifying races earlier this afternoon.
Brendan, how do you think you arrive at the number 46.5?
I have a sneaky suspicion. So that is, I believe, normally the number 46 of the hooligan, Rob Harrison. Rob Harrison was a longtime teammate to Ryan Semple here at Sunset Speedway. So Kayla, some sort of relative tie-in, I'm going to say. So I guess didn't quite want to branch off to her own number and wanted to stay with the hooligan 46. So we've arrived at the 46.5.
See, this is why I ask you things. You just have answers. And it may be totally wrong, but you sold it.
There's a good chunk of that story that's true, and somewhere in there's a bunch of falsehoods I possibly made up on the spot. But hey, it sounded good, and that's all that matters, and that's what we're here for.
That's it.
So, hooligan can tell me over a beer later whether it was right or wrong, if he can hear this at all. So, we'll work with that. And lights are extinguished on the Master Buick GMC Pace Truck. Final feature of the day to close out day number 1 of the Spring Velocity here at Sunset Speedway. Back in action tomorrow. All the information on the website, www.sunsetspeedway.ca. Green flag for the Outlaw Midgets presented by Innisfil Canadian Tire. Side by side down into turn number 1. Lawson the advantage down the bottom side of the racetrack. Not going to take long. Here comes the Wagner painting number 2 machine of Jessica James. Rob McCall also on the move. Larry Lawson trapped up on the high side of the racetrack. Going to fall back to the 3rd spot. Jessica James jumps out front. Rob McCall to 2nd. Lawson's trouble's not over yet. Being pressured now by Mike Bradley, the Dayco Belts number 53 machine. He loses a little ground off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Lawson now starting to try to move back forward all over the rear Nerf bar of the number 62 machine of McCall as they go down into turn number 1. Jessica James likes what she sees so far. Out in front, clear track ahead, and no pressure from behind early on in this one. Semple in that 46.5 machine going to move down the bottom side of the racetrack, give the leaders plenty of room. The young racer making her first start behind the wheel of an Outlaw Midget, giving everyone plenty of room and respect. That's how you learn. McCall has gotten by Lawson in the 8 machine. The BW towing 8 machine back to the 3rd spot. McCall, the Creature Designs number 62 machine up to 2nd. Going to see if he can track down the 2 of Jessica James. Carruthers in that 93 machine moving forward after the mechanical difficulties to the inside of Speeds in that 98 machine. Battle just outside the top 5. Mike Bradley now being pressured by the 18 of Jeff Blackburn. That a battle for the 4th position on the racetrack. Blackburn with the advantage down the bottom side of the racetrack. Bradley tries to keep the momentum on up. He'll stay to the right rear wheel of Blackburn as they race down at turn number 1. But shortest way around the racetrack, going to win out the battle on that one. Blackburn takes away that position, and Bradley gets shuffled back to 5th. And McCall up in the 2nd spot, has yet to make any gains on the 2 of Jessica James. If anything, she's widened her lead in that Wagner painting. Falcon Fire and Services number 2 machine. She'll put Semple another lap down in the 46.5 ride. Carruthers in that 93 machine now trying to close in on Mike Bradley for the 5th spot. Carruthers had all sorts of troubles this afternoon in practice and in heat race action. Was unable to complete both of those without needing to go to the outfield pit area with the assistance of the push truck. But doing a great job here, rallying in the feature, looking to crack the top 5, closing in on the rear of the Dayco Belts number 53 machine. If they race down the back straightaway, that would be a battle for the 5th position. When Carruthers gets there, which looks like to be about another lap cross sides of the line for Jessica James. Halfway to go in this one. We've reached the halfway point of this feature race to close out day 1 of the Spring Velocity here at Sunset Speedway. And Carruthers is now there. That's about the closest battle on the racetrack we got right now, hitting up for the 5th position. Carruthers, the rookie, got the rookie flag hanging off the back of the cage. Bradley goes way high off of turn number 2, and that's going to open the door for the Tirecraft Aurora number 93 machine to take over the 5th position. Bradley, a former winner here at Sunset Speedway, having his struggles here this afternoon. Now outside the top 5 and losing ground quickly to that 93 machine of Carruthers. And in case anyone was wondering, there is no change at the front of the field. It is still Jessica James by a country mile over the 62 of Rob McCall. Although James with a slip up there in turns 4, got sideways.
these are tough ones to call, but you can't blame Jessica James on that, having a great setup in that machine. And Rob McCall just needs about 1/10 of a second more, but that gap built up, and it's almost insurmountable.
Yeah, at this point, going to hope for a caution, and then maybe a heat cycle on the tires will change things just a little. And around goes Speeds just in front of your leader. 98 machine facing the wrong way, and that might be the caution we were just talking about for Rob McCall to try to have a chance at Jessica James.
Isn't that what happened in the heat race to bring out a yellow? The car directly in front of Jessica James spun out.
Yeah.
And again, like, she wasn't within 10 feet of it.
And you just see Speeds just gets over those bumps, and the moment these cars step out with no suspension, again, once those wheels start bouncing, you get that wheel hop, and there's a short wheelbase. You only got like a very split second to try to correct it, but once it's gone, they are gone. But Speed's able to keep that car running, and he will tag tail end of the longest line now. And this will be the shot Rob McCall is looking for in that 62 machine, see if he can do anything with Jessica James at the front of the field. And this was one thing that didn't seem to play in Jessica James's favor in the heat race. Again, had a great restart, got going, but then mechanical problems. So maybe something on the restart, maybe something with the chain. You know, when you're trying to get up to speed, you're putting different sort of pressure on different parts of the car, and could be one of those things that maybe a mechanical problem will strike Jessica James. You hope not, but at this point, she's got to be thinking that could be a possibility again. Something that goes wrong here on the restart.
That's just it. Get off clean, hit your marks. Jesse James has won a lot of races in this division, so I don't think nerves are going to be a factor. Just a matter of getting that thing to fire off the way she wants, and hope that she can hold off Rob McCall. McCall's got to figure out, okay, what can I do? What have I got? I've got one chance at this.
Yeah, McCall, I would say a long-time veteran of these types of cars, has been running them for several years. Has also spent his time over at the Pro Sprint Tour, basically the same chassis, just with suspension components on them. So very familiar with these cars, very good with the, as we say, no suspension, but I mean, there's still a setup to them. And the way you set these cars up to get them to go through the corners and get over those bumps is very important, whether it just be tire pressure or just, some of those mounting points on how things are built into these cars. So Field giving the sign to double back up as we look to close out day one of the Spring Velocity. Remember, we are back in action again tomorrow afternoon. We know weather might play a factor, so keep your eyes on all of our social media, Sunset Speedway on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can find us. The website, www.sunsetspeedway.ca. We will update things as we move along into tomorrow morning. I know this morning was an 8 a.m. call, whether we were going for it or not, so that will probably be about the time we're going to make a decision, looking at the radar and the long-term forecast for the day. So white flag will come out this time by. The lights are going to be extinguished on the Master Buick GMC Pace Truck. And we will see if we can close out day one with the Outlaw Midgets presented by Innisfil Canadian Tire. Jessica James the inside. Rob McCall the outside. Both these drivers get tremendous restarts. So we'll have to see what happens. They both seem to get great launches every time there's a start or a restart. And maybe see if someone from the second row, like Larry Lawson or Jeff Blackburn, can shake things up with a great restart. They pick up the pace in the middle of 3 and 4. Green flag in the air. James with a great jump, able to get clear McCall. McCall now has to deal with Larry Lawson, that number 8 machine. Lawson going to take the spot away, and even Jeff Blackburn. So McCall gets shuffled all the way back to the 4 spot. Blackburn on the move, looking to take the second spot away from the 8 of Larry Lawson. Lawson up on the high side of the racetrack, the BW towing entry. Now trying to hold off Blackburn side by side for second. Lawson with a great line up on the high side of the racetrack. Here comes McCall, seems to have found his footing in that number 62 machine. Blackburn looking for the crossover move. Great move by Blackburn off of 4. They're side by side down in turn number 1. But Blackburn not going to have the angle he wants to get that car turned down on the bottom side of the racetrack. McCall now going to go to work. And here comes the 93 of Carruthers. Carruthers, again, we mentioned, didn't get the heat race action, the rookie. Now up to the 4 spot, sideways. Big wiggle from the 93 machine. Able to catch that tire craft Aurora, number 93 machine, and save it from the outside retaining wall. The rookie showing some speed here. Back to the inside of Blackburn, down the back straightaway. Up to the 4th position. Again, gets on the binders, gets that car rotated off of 4. And now we'll set a sight on Rob McCall. So 93, a late pickup for him, really charging through the field. Blackburn back by him, so great battle going on for the 4th spot. Rob McCall looking to get to the rear nerf bar of Larry Lawson as the white flag comes out for Jessica James out in front. Battle for second, battle for fifth. Races all over the racetrack down the back straightaway. And there goes McCall with a dive bomb move to the inside of Lawson and loops that number 62 machine. James with the win. Lawson going to come home second, Blackburn third, Carruthers fourth, Mike Bradley fifth. And everyone able to avoid McCall, able to get that car spun back around and move in the right direction.
That was one of those moves where if this works, it's going to feel great.
I was having that reminded me of Reddick at Bristol there. Just that Hail Mary, is it going to work? Is it not?
No, exactly. And I didn't see if there was a 50-50 winner, but the ticket was 0314660.
I believe I seen it at one point, and they had 2 tickets in hand, so I believe a winner did claim that. So
that's a bad feeling when you leave the racetrack and you don't know if your ticket's a winner.
I keep checking my fridge every Saturday morning. I haven't won the Lotto Max yet, and that's a bad feeling. So I know that feeling deep in my soul. So
that's right. That's right. Oh well, we'll keep playing. Clinton Jeffrey is down in victory lane. Jessica James going to celebrate yet another win. Behind the wheel of that number 2, running out of room to put feature win stickers on that race car.
Gonna need a bigger wing.
Yeah, no doubt. Got lots of room on the top, though. I'm sure they'll keep popping them on there. Here comes Jessica getting the helmet off. We'll work out of the car here. We'll have a talk with Jessica. This is a bit of a tight fit to get in these tiny cars. Multiple feature winners been the dominant force in this class for the past couple of years.
A couple is generous.
Yeah. How about it, Sunset? How about a hand for Jessica James? We can sit right there. Solid drive today. You had the field covered. You got to be super happy with the way that one worked out.
How covered were they?
Really covered.
Yeah, I feel good then.
Awesome job. Who do you want to thank for a great run here today?
Oh, we got to thank Wagner Painting. They're been with us for a couple seasons now. We're getting it done. Got to thank Howard Gifford of Gifford Hydroform Pipes. Got to thank the boys and the girls. Everybody makes it happen. Daco, the Outlaws.
What are you looking for?
Bitchin' Bodies, they're good. Anyone need some work done? Give me a call.
Right on, Jessica James.
I want to thank Sunset for having us.
Yeah, we held it out. How about it for Jessica James, ladies and gentlemen? That'll be our feature of the night. And that'll be it. We're done here, guys. We made it, Adam, through the rain. Amazing job. Good shout out to Brennan, Jamie, everybody who helped out here tonight.
Absolutely, Clinton. What a show. Thank you so much to the race fans who came out despite some nasty conditions today. Even the ones that watched from home, because I know power was out in Cambridge, power was out in Toronto, power was out at Brighton when I talked to them. So thanks so much for tuning in and joining us here today. So for myself, Brendan Doherty, Jamie Maudsley, Clinton Jeffrey, and the rest of the crew, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time with the APC series on June 4th. Have a fantastic night.
Cast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GeForce TV. GeForce TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.